A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen dictators. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop off the cork, have a glass of wine, I'll feel safe, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
I say, I believe that's our cue, MauLer.
Yay!
Yay for Open Bar.
Yay, indeed.
Welcome, everyone, to Open Bar 116. 116 years of the bar.
Really getting old.
That's, yeah, I feel it now when I look in the mirror. So, you know, we're doing okay, though. I think we're surviving. But welcome, everybody, anyway. We're almost at Halloween as well. Next week, well, Open Bar was literally going to follow on Halloween itself. So,
that's crazy.
We'll try to put on some spooky shenanigans for everyone.
You are going to dress as like a zombie, right? And splatter blood all over yourself?
I mean, yeah, it's a standard Sunday morning, really. So it'll be fine. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, you have to do it yourself. You need to change your icon. I can't believe you haven't done it already, actually.
It's annoying because I haven't got like I guess you can have a paid version of this thing, so you get way more avatars. I've only got 2, and it like locked in one of them, so I have to like delete the one. I have to delete the one I'm currently using, and then I can do it, which is annoying. But I could do it just for you.
Yeah, I mean, it would make me happy. So as long as you do that, you know,
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Sign up if you want more free hours. Like, shut up.
Don't make me sign up. I don't want to do stuff.
You can't make me do nothing.
Not part of your system. Well, anyway, tell you what, how about we give a little bit of a rundown of stuff that happened in the year of our Lord 2016.
Yeah.
Well, you might have heard there was an election in America. You know, it's funny how things like come around, isn't it? So that, you know, everyone took the results of that really well, so that was good to know. But it was actually weirdly a year of lots of deaths as well. We lost David Bowie, Prince, Alan Rickman, Gene Wilder, and Muhammad Ali.
I remember that, yeah.
It was, I remember as well, like, I think it was, especially at the beginning of the year, like, it just came like one after the other. Like, it was relentless. It's like, damn, that's brutal, man. I mean, you know, it's always going to happen with celebrities and stuff. Like a lot of the biggies are getting old now, and it's always on the back of your mind. But like, yeah, that just seemed like a really unlucky period where we lost a lot of good ones. So shame indeed. But in the world of movies, this, I think more than any other year, this was like the year of the superhero movie. Like when I look through what we had, there was Captain America Civil War, Batman versus Superman, Deadpool, Suicide Squad, X-Men Apocalypse. What was the other one? Oh, I think that was all of them, yeah. Yeah, that's all in the space of a single year. And that's pretty heavy on superhero movies. And I feel like that was
taking advantage of the superhero hype. I remember the fight between Civil War and BVS, like which one was going to make more money, and everyone assumed it would be BVS because it's literally Batman versus Superman. How the fuck is that going to be beaten by Cap fighting Iron Man?
Yeah, and they found a way.
Found a way.
Yeah, I don't have it on my list here, but I think Batman versus Superman topped out about 880 million worldwide, whereas Captain America Civil War, that was the biggest movie of the year, actually. It was 1.1 billion.
It's also a way better movie.
It was, yes. Definitely. We also had
Martha.
Why did you say that name?
Classic.
We also had Rogue One, a Star Wars story that was just over $1 billion. That was, you know, that was that crazy time when Star Wars movies were still being successful. That was quite cool. The worst was yet to come, though, so brace yourselves for 2017 next week.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Finding Dory came in at number 3. That was over $1 billion as well. And Zootopia. And The Jungle Book was just a shade under at 966 million. So a lot of like kids movies in that top 5, which is kind of interesting, actually. But it was also the year that gave us Train to Busan. Excellent movie. I really like that
I
one.
love that film. Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts, because like I thought I'd escaped the Harry Potter stuff, but apparently we haven't. There's more. There's always more. We got Deadpool. I can't believe that was 2016. That's 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. Nah, that was the first one, not the good one. Doctor Strange. We got that. We also got Independence Day Resurgence, possibly the worst sequel I can think of.
I never saw Resurgence.
Just keep it that way. Keep it that way and just remember Independence Day.
Nope, bad. And I was like, okay then. I won't be seeing that one.
It was just shockingly bad. Like I was just really taken aback by its level of shittiness. It was genuinely impressive. We also got Star Trek Beyond. Speaking of shitty movies, the final chapter of Resident Evil as well. For now, like there was
what a letdown. They did not pull through on their promise of the cliffhanger of the previous movies.
Yeah, every movie just overwrites what came before. Like they just completely undo it because it's like, oh yeah, that thing we were setting up. Nah, we don't want to do that anymore.
The White House versus the army of demon zombie thing. Like, we should have gotten that. We were cheated.
Yeah. Do you remember how the final chapter starts? It's like just the White House in ruins. Everyone's dead, and then Alice just sort of breaks her way out of
it's bullshit
bodies.
We were cheated. He needs to be forced to go back and remake it.
All of them. Remake all of them and keep Mila Jovovich, somehow de-age her. It was also, and I'm sorry to say this, the year that gave us Ghostbusters.
Well, a year had to, right? We got to talk about it at some point. What a legendary film.
This is I guess what marks the beginning of the bad times. So we got as far as 2016, and this is pretty much where it begins. So yeah, brace yourselves.
Yeah, it's I mean, hey, we did an EFAP movies for that film back in the day. That feels like a million years ago as well. Ghostbusters. It was it feels like such a milestone culturally, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, like, it was a movie that's, I don't know, like it was the first time that everyone just kind of came together and realized, oh, there's a problem here. Something has changed in Hollywood. Something has changed in movies, and it's not for the better.
Remember when James Rolfe just made a video saying he's not going to watch the film, he's not going to review it, and that kicked off really mad at him.
Yeah, that kicked, like actual news outlets were reporting on that.
Yeah,
and then like spurging out over it, and it was like they accused him of having an unhinged rant, and it was literally like the calmest, like just. No, I just don't think it's for me. I don't like the idea behind this movie, so I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, I feel like that was the last time that the angry video game nerd was like super relevant and like really in the middle of something. Not that he's not still doing stuff. It was just that was a real touchstone for him.
I will say, by the way, surprising amount of people in chat reporting that the stream is lagging. A lot of people are saying it's not, though, so it's kind of. It's looking like a 50-50 right now on who it's working for. I've pulled it up. It looks like it's fine. It doesn't seem to be lagging for me.
Yeah, it's fine for me. And like when I'm looking at the what do you call it? On YouTube, where you can see like the stream like panel, basically, like gives you like your information about how your connection is and all that stuff and your current viewers. It says it's got an excellent connection. So yeah, most people are saying
majority of people saying it's all right, so I guess we'll just keep on going. All right.
It might be that some people, I don't know, they're having a bit of internet trouble or whatever.
Perhaps, yes, perhaps.
Oh well. Anyway, why don't we bring our panel in so that we can actually start talking about the current day stuff?
Yay! Current movies.
Yay! Okay, well, welcome everyone. Blue Collar Loser, Baggage Claim, and Reaper. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's great to have you guys on.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back.
You running through the 2016 movies just remind me how much I used to go to the movies, and now I don't at all. I went to like so many of those.
Remember that hobby of watching films?
Yeah.
That was
like leaving your house to have some entertainment.
Yeah, it was that more innocent time when you still got excited about new movies coming out. It was,
and
great.
I was so excited about X-Men Apocalypse because I loved the trailer. I thought it was going to be so cool, and then it was absolutely terrible.
When it came after Days of Future Past, right? Which was
Right.
people were quite happy with that. So it's like, all right, let's see what else they got. And I remember Apocalypse. I was laughing in the cinema a couple of times.
Oh yeah. And then
we
they
got an
followed that up
for his loss of hair.
Yeah. It's not just male pattern baldness, you see. It's like used the virus too much.
Apocalypse took his hair. How could he?
That's the worst thing you can take from a man.
That's brutal.
And yeah, didn't they follow that up with Dark Phoenix?
Yes, they did.
That was the next one.
I skipped that one. I thought Apocalypse was so bad. I just ended up skipping it.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Remember the ex-women line?
Oh yeah.
Awful.
So shocking, terrible.
It's funny because I feel like that hurt Jennifer Lawrence somehow rather than like just the movie. Like, and it obviously wasn't her idea. She's just saying a line, but it somehow just fit with her persona back then. And like everyone was just like, "Oh, fuck off, Jennifer Lawrence, with your bullshit."
It felt like she had advocated to have that line added.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And it's probably unfair because she probably didn't, but it just felt like the sort of thing that she would do. Like, you know, a person.
It's also insane to have it deliver it to the guy who lost his legs.
And his hair, MauLer, and his hair.
And his hair, more importantly, lost his hair in the line of duty. Like, it's so weird to be like, ex-women.
But I also, it was one of the billboards for Apocalypse was showing Apocalypse holding up Mystique by her throat, like choking her at the same time. And those were the billboards around a lot. And so then there were all these articles talking about how casual misogyny, that's casual misogyny, like just showing, you know, violence against a woman is perfectly fine in marketing materials. And I just found that so irritating too. She's a superhero. She's fighting with someone. It's okay to show her. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, and like you want to build up your villain as a dangerous antagonist, and they're obviously going to have to fight the heroes. So I find it's such a weird thing to get mad about.
It's funny because you reminded me. I remember that discourse, but when you brought up as the foundation that it's the poster of Apocalypse straggling Mystique, for a second I was like, why the fuck would she be on the poster? And I was like, oh right, because they really had to push front and center Jennifer Lawrence because of Hunger Games. They were like, look, we got her in our X-Men movies. Look, come watch. It's just like, shut up.
Yeah, because was that her debut? Oh no, it would have been Days of Future Past, wasn't it? That was when she came in.
No, First Class.
Yeah.
Oh god,
they got her in
that far back. Yeah,
they got her in First Class before she was a star, like a big star. And
but she was a really big star by Apocalypse, like and I think that's when she started complaining about the makeup because now she could.
Remember the makeup job between First Class and to Apocalypse, like the whole degradation, like like the $5 store makeup now.
I'm sorry. You go watch X-Men 1. Rebecca Romaine destroys Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique.
Yeah. Well, you can tell like she really went through it with the makeup as well, because as Blue pointed out, like it just looks better. It looks more convincing. You can tell it took longer to apply.
Hate to say it, but she captures the mystique of Mystique, Rebecca Romaine.
I like what you did there.
I love watching her play her when she's like she's a bit of a troll sometimes, and she clearly enjoys it. And she's morally speaking, much more interesting in the Fox X-Men movies than she is in the new ones. She's so much of a goody two shoes hero in the new ones that they desperately want to get her. Remember they're like, oh, she's gonna be bad if Professor X doesn't get her on the right path. And I was just like, she's Mystique. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's such a weird. Yeah, it was such a strange time as well. Like, because I always thought, like, I don't know, in my head, it's almost like the X-Men movies happened and then they faded out and then the MCU came into play. And it's like, no, they actually hung in there for a long time afterwards. Like, they were going head to head in some cases. And, you know, sometimes you get an absolute banger of a movie with like Days of Future Past, and then you would get an X-Men Apocalypse, or you would get a Dark Phoenix. And God, they were so inconsistent. They could just never nail a good run of solid, well-performing movies. They could just never get it.
Remember X-Men Origins Wolverine? They had a whole a Gambit film planned out, a Magneto film planned out, and after Origins bombed so much, but then you get Logan. So we'll figure.
That's nuts, man. The Hugh Jackman fully front and center playing Wolverine and was like, let's do it, let's launch it, and it just falls flat on his face. Like, never mind. we'll try it. Magneto's solo film could have been really interesting, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
That was the whole joke with Channing Tatum and Deadpool and Wolverine. Channing Tatum was supposed to get his own Gambit solo film, and
Yeah.
I like how he
I
couldn't
wish-
speak at all. No one could understand him.
Yeah.
I wish more franchises had taken that Logan route of just having a completely different category of movie and just tell a like very kind of intimate story about a superhero. I think that would have been so cool. They could have done that in so many places.
They sort of tried it with, God, what was it even called? Like the new X-Men, fucking hell, was it because the New Mutants or something?
Oh yeah.
They had this weird movie that like was going to have a bunch of like young actors that had been locked in like an insane asylum, and like they turn out to be X-Men. Like it did come out, I'm reliably informed, because I remember watching it once upon a time.
Yeah.
But it was like one of those movies that like was made, then went into production hell for like probably 2 or 3 years. Like it was in the can, it was ready to go. They decided like they didn't like it and they wanted to re-edit it and stuff, but like they didn't have any budget, so they eventually just had to release it as it was, and it just completely flopped. But like that was kind of the movie that capped off the X-Men franchise, and it was like the most like bleak, depressing, like anticlimax imaginable.
Yeah, because the marketing
Damn.
was the first X-Men horror film, remember? And then it just didn't turn out like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the horror was watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it wasn't like the concept behind it was good, where it's like, let's explore different genres, do like a character, sort of a more intimate character driven movie that's got horror elements. It's something a bit different. They just completely fumbled it.
Yeah, on top of like making their powers a curse. I remember the one girl turned into a bear, and the one girl's like the mutant abilities were like it was their bane versus the X-Men. It's like they're part of humanity. These kids, you feel sorry for them, but the concept sounded good.
There was the smiling men or something that would appear every once in a while. There was I vaguely remember that. Jesus, totally blanked that movie.
For the better.
But yeah, I was gonna kick things off. There was something that came up on Twitter the other day, and like I had to bring it up here. Like I'll see if I can share it. Actually, it's not even like something I would normally cover, because it's not like I'm not here to talk about the election or the presidential race or anything. But like when you see Mark Hamill and his like insane stuff that he decides to post, I just saw this and I thought, no. Mark.
Come on.
It was the anniversary of Carrie Fisher's birthday, and he said, for those wondering how she would vote in this election, literally no person anywhere has wondered that. One of the last arguments we had was who hated the orange man more. After half an hour, we had to agree to disagree. So in today's list of things that totally happened, bro, believe that. There's this one. And I just thought, man, you couldn't just like, I don't know, wish her a happy birthday. Like I really miss her. She was a great person, that sort of thing. Why turn it into some weird political stunt?
Because he's an asshole.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Because he's a prick.
God.
I've never seen anyone so consumed by hatred before in my life. Like, this guy is obsessed.
Well, he could have just rested. He was Luke Skywalker and he was Joker. He could have just rested, being well loved, but he came out and just became a total twat.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Yeah. He has the worst TDS I've ever seen.
This is the problem. Sorry.
No, see, it's almost like for a generation, as Reaper said, for our generation, this was Luke Skywalker and the Joker. For an upcoming generation, you're going to be known for a lot of people more as this versus Luke Skywalker and the Joker.
It's just sad. Like, yeah, because as you guys said, he's got this incredible legacy in his career. And, he's getting older now. He's like into his 70s. And you just think, is this how you want to spend your autumn years? Just like ranting on social media about like how much you hate Trump and like, just gradually alienating your fans who just want to hear you reminisce about Star Wars or your other roles that you've done. That's all they care about. Like, you're an actor. Just talk about being an actor and all the crazy shit you've been involved in. That'd be great. No one cares about your political opinions.
It puts me in two different minds because people make similar comments about J.K. Rowling. She has a great, incredible legacy. She's chosen to talk out about a very specific issue that a lot of people don't agree with her on that. And then they say the same thing, you're ruining your legacy. And I agree with her on that point where she says, I don't care about my legacy. I care about doing what's right. And I would imagine he thinks the same thing. But why does it irritate me when he does it, but not when J.K. Rowling does it? I think it's because what he's advocating for at the end of the day is so divisive. It's not to help anybody. It's just his own personal belief. And then he's like vilifying half the audience. And that's like an Obama speech. We don't have to get into the politics too much, but just a quick reference. Obama was talking the other day. He gave a speech saying, what happened? How come we became so divisive? How come we became so divided, as a country? And it's because of comments like this, where they keep calling someone they politically disagree with, they call them the worst names possible, make references to 1930s political villains, instead of just addressing the ideas, which is what J.K. Rowling does. J.K. Rowling is not calling anybody names, she's not putting anybody down, she's addressing the point at hand and trying to help people logic their way into a better understanding in a place where we can like come together.
You can't trust J.K. Rowling, though, because she was fine with the race swaps. She was fine with Dumbledore being gay. It became a problem when they wanted to change something she actually valued. She was fine with all the stuff.
Change
so
what?
I don't.
What did she value? Sorry?
Well, the trans stuff, because she was fine with Dumbledore being gay. She was fine with Hermione being black. Second, it went, well, we can, men can be women. She went, no, I don't believe that. And then they just turned on it.
But I think that's fair, right? It's like, it's fine if they're race swapping, right? She wrote Harry Potter at a time where Britain as a society was primarily white, and then obviously the immigration has been so massive that things have changed. Fine, to make things a little more amenable to people. I don't know. I could argue both ways on that front. That's fine. If she envisioned Dumbledore as gay, to me that's fine too, because she didn't like rub it in people's faces.
I think she had no idea. I think she had no intention. She just played. She was fine playing with the activists, but then it was like fire. Oh no, this shit got out of control. And then it went for something then it came for something she valued, and then she went, oh no, this thing blew up in my face. And now they want her dead. They would kill her in an instant.
But it's interesting because I don't want to get into the weeds too much of the politics of it, but it's interesting when she pushes back against that sort of thing, and people are like, "Oh my god, base J.K. Rowling," and it's like, do you not understand? Like, she is like a hardcore lefty progressive in like 99.9% of like subjects. It's just that one thing that she has an issue with. So she's
don't feminist.
And I think most leftists would agree with the things she said. And like, this is why we're also seeing a big shift in American politics, that like people who considered themselves lifelong Democrats are now coming over to the Republican side, because they're like, the party has left us. It's gone way too left. And I think then, Reaper, to your point, is like, she saw it going too far. But you're right. In most places, like, we would not agree with everything she says, right?
True.
Yeah, I would say no. I don't trust her. That's my thing. She's right though, like the whole trans stuff. Although I've enjoyed watching men beat women. I'm old-fashioned like that. You know what I mean? In the octagon,
Sean Connery.
The stream just went down a dark path.
1950s are coming back. You see a woman get a black eye, and you go, "Yeah, she needs to be told."
And on that note, we just got demonetized.
I agree with the feminists. Me and the feminists on the same side. Beat women.
What sucks, like Reaper was saying, though, the thing is, she'll be on their side, but it takes one issue for the entire tide to turn against you, and that's what it comes down to. People have these echo chambers where you have to agree on 100 out of 100 things.
Yes.
Why I love Drinker and MauLer for is because how many times with these guys, they're friends and they could disagree on something, but they're still buddies. Like, Drinker and MauLer don't agree on every single movie or TV show, but they have a civil way of talking about it. J.K. Rowling's people, it takes one issue for how fast they turn on you.
Yes.
You think we're buddies, but we actually hate each other, Blue.
The thing is, though, they will
Secretly.
always make you sacrifice stuff. You'll eventually go, we want your kids. You go, well, I'm not all right with that. I was all right with you taking other people's kids. But that's the thing. They always come for you. So that's why you should never like ally with them. But they do.
It's interesting. People in chat are still talking about the stream lagging. Like, weirdly, some people are saying like it was crashing on their PC, but like when they watch it on their phone, it's fine.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't know. Suggest a solution if it's very strange if it's working for like. Should we do a poll to see what the actual percentage is looking like? Because obviously, if it's 50,
see if I can set one up.
I don't know if we need to restart the stream or something, because this has happened here and there with streams for me where it's just a restart solves it. But That's out.
Yeah, like the problem with restarting it is that don't you just kind of lose everything then? And
Pretty
then
much.
You have to
which
start.
is why
a new
we'd rather
stream.
not restart it, but it depends how many people are affected by this
Would it be
horrifying stuttering.
Would it be 2 different streams then? Like this is one stream, the new one's a second stream?
Yeah, but still, we'd rather not. I think it's just the.
Let me just.
Let's hope the stuttering didn't pick up my hit women comment.
Looks like it's a YouTube problem, Drinker.
Okay.
I just checked the status, and there are a ton of issues being reported.
Oh.
Like 795 issues reported just in the last minute.
Wow.
Right. So I've started a poll here, and we'll see what it does. Let's see.
Just saying, some streams in general have been hit with the.
I have a question. When you get to open bar 126, what do you talk about for the intro? Because media only goes back like 100 years. Are you going to go like 1066, Battle of Hastings?
I might do, yeah. Like
that'd actually be quite cool as well.
I'm just going to end open bar. Like that'll be me done. I'll just, like,
Become a
say,
history
right,
channel.
we're done with it. We're not doing this anymore. It's boring.
Why the fuck did you pick 1066 as opposed to 1966?
I don't know.
Significant year. Yeah, so let's see.
I feel like more movies
Because
came
I
out.
care about history.
Where's your
Well,
historical
the French.
passion, MauLer? Yeah.
Bloody French.
At the moment, it's saying about 65% of people are saying no, it's not lagging. 35% saying yes. So it's kind of an interesting one. So I don't think it's this particular stream. I don't think it's my connection. Like Baggage Claim was saying, there's been a few reports of issues with YouTube.
Yeah,
it's been hacked by Russian bots.
For those who are lagging, try other like your phone, or just try something else. Try a different browser even. I don't know if that would fix it, but
for God's sake, don't give up on us. We need you.
Yeah, because no one's complaining about their phones.
Well, I'll check some other streams on YouTube, see if people are complaining about the same
I like
thing.
how it's turned to a technical support. We're all just going,
what else can we get done?
Proxies, share it on Facebook.
I'm going to get my YouTube partner manager on the phone right now on the stream. Let's
fix this shit right now.
It would be funny that was just technical services the entire episode.
It's so funny as well when you actually speak to YouTube, like it's 99% of the time it's a bot you're talking to, and it's so obvious.
It's an AI.
Have you read this article? Like, have you read this article? Like, can I just talk to a person?
How can I assist you with your problem today? It's like YouTube doesn't work. Okay, I am hearing that YouTube does not work for you.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I know that must be really inconveniencing to you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, just get to it.
It's a Tesla bot.
And just as they did back in 1066, we're going to plow on and soldier on in the face of adversity. So we'll do our best. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to lead with, I suppose, is like the controversy that's blown up around Wicked.
Oh boy.
Which we're all excited to see. Honestly, it's funny because like this movie seemed to have like a pretty chill atmosphere around it. It wasn't like something like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs where there's loads of controversy. You know, actors have been saying really controversial things, or like people were really up in arms about the concept behind it. Seemed pretty okay. You know, the stage show's got like a huge worldwide audience. People seemed to like the trailer more or less. They didn't seem too mad about it. And then some unfortunate person made the mistake of just creating a slightly altered image that was going to echo the stage show version. And I'll see if I can bring it up here just so people can see it, because it makes for an interesting contrast. So here, if I share,
but isn't it based on the poster for the theater?
Yes, it is. So if you see this one here, you've got the theater poster, which is, I think, pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I kind of talked about it at length in my video, so I won't bore you again with it here. But like, I think it tells you quite a bit about the show, or it suggests quite a few things about this character. And like, you've got that kind of knowing smile there. You can't see her eyes. She's kind of mysterious. It's like she, this shows in on a little secret, and it wants the audience to learn about it as they go as well, which is kind of cool. Then you get the version that we got, which is here, which again I'll show you, and it's no, not that one. It's this one.
Call tech support.
It just takes for some reason it takes ages to load up. Anyway, so this is like the actual poster that they've got, and spot the difference. Like, there's no smile there. You can see her eyes. She's just kind of staring blankly at the camera. Like, it just feels like a bit of a weird, nondescript poster.
Mm-hmm.
So
very different vibe to the original.
Yeah, and like you can kind of understand why people might think, we can maybe do it better. So what did they do here?
It looks like it's the Captain Marvel, version of expression. This is happy. This is sad. This is angry.
Oh, she's had Botox.
Yeah. So if I show you that, like, what they edited to,
maybe she's whispering to her what she needs to do to get casted. Because you just go into a room, there's a couch there. Close your eyes.
You're gonna just you're gonna be required to do things. Okay, just don't think about it. So yeah, they kind of
do.
They brought it in more in line, which I don't think is unreasonable. I think it makes it a bit more interesting. You got the little smile there. You got the red lips now. Hit the eyes.
It's better.
Yeah, I think it works pretty well. And I don't get the impression that this was done like out of malice or resentment or anything like that. It was just a fan who was messing around with the image. Went viral, and the main actress did not react too well to it. Where is our text here?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can show you the image as well. It's kind of
well, the problem is that she's a fan. That was the first mistake she made, because that's one thing they despise is fans.
Definitely.
Yeah. So here it is here. So she took to Instagram to talk about it. So yeah, this is the wildest, most offensive thing I've seen, equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your whatever green? None of it's funny. None of this is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I'm a real life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera at you, the viewer, because without words, we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is a homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me, and that is just deeply hurtful.
Oh boy.
What's she saying with her eyes? Help.
This is
with her eyes, she's saying nothing.
This is insane.
Like, it's completely blank.
Lost your fucking mind. Couldn't I say, what's the name of the girl on the right? Isn't it Ariana Grande?
It's Ariana Grande, yeah.
So couldn't I say you erased her by not letting us see her eyes in your poster? What is this insanity? You can see the intention from looking at the original poster. They're not trying to get rid of you. Like, it's just trying to match it. That's all. Why have you lost your mind? Well, how is this the most offensive thing you've ever seen? What the fuck?
I just think somewhere right now, Rachel Zegler is like, perfect. Someone else has taken the heat.
Finally.
The baton has been passed to a new asshole.
It's like to what MauLer said. If this is the most wildly offensive thing you've seen on the internet, boy.
But what a cushy life you've lived. If
she was scrolling. It was just cat pictures, cats, this. And then she's
sunsets,
like, wow.
Oh my god, what is this? But yeah, I just think, what's a hill to die on? Because I'm sure there's other things that she's seen that she perhaps could have reacted to. Like, I'm sure somewhere out there, like, someone's posted racist crap at her or whatever, and she might have like bit back at this. But like, this obviously went viral, and that's why it went to her. Like, that's why it came to her attention. But I just thought, what a hill to die on. Someone who just kind of made an innocent poster and they didn't mean anything by it, really. And what does it make you look like? Just this weird, spoiled, entitled arsehole that like now everyone dislikes. When you didn't have to do this, this wasn't a fight that you needed to pick.
I find this kind of mindset, it is kind of predator-like, where you're scanning for racism, and it's like a one-drop rule. If you can even infer racism in the tiniest of aspects, you're going to cling on to that with your life and now define everything around it. It doesn't matter what the intent was. It doesn't matter, whether the person's a fan, whether the person's excited. It's the immediate assumption is you have wounded me greatly with your racism, and now I am the victim in this story, and
like the 18th
how
century,
dare you?
You sir have wounded me.
Yeah.
I challenge you to a duel.
I am wounded.
Sometimes I wonder if
Frasier at this
if
point.
like
Yeah.
she saw it and she was like, "Can I?" And she's talked to the agent like, "Can I claim racism on this?" And they're like, "Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, go for it." They're like, "Yes, I'm
Do you
going
think
for it.
that's
I'm
how they
writing up the
cast
thing."
actresses?
But
Like Rachel
like,
Zegler comes in and goes, right, you've been given a tweet saying, oh, I prefer Snow White looking like this. Go. And she goes, I'd call him a racist. I'd do this. And you go, yes, you're hired. It's gotta be.
possibly. The thing is, right, this kind of reaction is what I would expect if the movie was getting terrible press and like everyone was raging about it and it was set up to fail. Like the kind of reactions that we saw with The Acolyte, you know, once it became obvious that it was a complete flop. But why do this to a movie that's actually set up to be quite successful and is probably going to do okay? It just seemed like such a strange move. And like the people at Universal's PR department must be tearing their hair out with this.
I don't know.
Thinking, oh my God, what do we do to fix this?
I feel like us, you know, being random people who at times are so drunk they can't even see straight, would actually suggest to her much better alternatives, which would be something like, oh, that's sweet. A fan took the thing and made that. That's cool. I get it. Just wanted to say, obviously, you know, our version, it was like we were trying to take it in a different direction. We wanted the character to stay, to give like a sense of whatever. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the story to make up a reason, but you could totally have said, in a sense, trying to defend the version you have while celebrating the old one and being chill with a fan work and being like, it's neat. You guys interacting with it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, bye. I'm not here to piss you off like everyone else always fucking is.
Yeah. Exactly. It was like, it's such an easy win. Like, hey, good stuff. Look at, here's our original poster for comparison or whatever. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the movie theater in a few weeks when it releases. Easy.
And I don't even think that there's room for anyone to actually disagree with her, right? Like Ariana Grande was also asked about the situation, and she made it more about AI. She said, you know, AI is a concern, and you know, these things are complicated, and this is so much. I think she said kind of the right thing, which is like, this is.
Oh God, that's nightmare fuel right there. I'm gonna post it.
AI is going to take over, clearly. The
AI that they produce for this is quite funny, actually.
It's probably better than the actual movie.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Skynet is like, I'm going to get him with this. I'm going to make him, I'm going to sow discontent.
But it's like, also, how do you not just find this kind of funny? But
I like how shocked she is.
Yeah. But
like, what did she say to her?
She thinks this is racist too. This is offensive as well. I don't understand. It's just a joke. Why?
Now there might be some 3D chess going on, but really bad. Because she might be going, right, I'll jump some controversy. I might try to like get my name out. Because Rachel Zegler tried that when West Side Story was coming out. She was saying, oh, white people won't like it. Like, we shouldn't have subtitles because it's racist or whatever, some shit. But the problem is she's not established enough to do that yet. Because that only works when you've already got like a brand behind you. You can start saying shit.
I would have thought as well, like, because I can sort of, with Rachel Zegler, understand like why she would just say really inappropriate things or like get a bit too full of herself or whatever on the red carpet and say all this stupid stuff about her movie. Because she was, what, 22, 23? Like super young. This girl who plays Elphaba is like 37, I think. Like, she's of an age where she should know better than this. Yeah. Like, she might not necessarily be super familiar with being famous and all the attention that comes with it, but like, you would have a level of maturity, you would think, where you just would have a bit more restraint and a bit more self-awareness.
Hey, Mark Hamill is what, in his 60s, and he's using his dead friend to promote the president that he wants. So
that is true, yeah.
I think a lot of these people are locked in echo chambers that are just propping them up and, you know, telling them that whatever they believe is correct. And I think it's a dangerous business if you are part of that circle to disagree with someone who says, hey, this is racist, because you're going to get absolutely piled on by everybody else who's a robot who believes the same thing and says, no, this is erasure. This is erasure of Black women. And how do you even stand up to people who are that inflammatory about it, that it's something as simple as fan art can be, that that terrible to them.
Well, we all thought Justin Bieber was a naughty boy, but unfortunately, he had a very abused childhood.
It would have seemed so. To reference the point you made, Baggage Claim, about the Ariana Grande was brought into this. She her response ended up being all about the AI, but I wanted to read some of it out to you because, my God, it's like a kid being asked to give a report on a book that they haven't read. It's like, listen to this, right? So this is our response to all this. I think it's very complicated because I find AI so conflicting and troublesome sometimes. But I think it's just kind of such a massive adjustment period. This is something that is so much bigger than us, and the fans are going to have fun and make their edits. I have so much respect for my sister Cynthia, and I love her so much. It's just a big adjustment period. It's so much stimulation about something that's so much bigger than us. It honestly sounds like a fucking AI responded there.
I feel like it's the most
in the room with you, Ariana.
I feel like it's the most careful, like PR, like don't offend anybody, don't offend your Black co-star, don't offend the fans, like kind of response. But it doesn't actually. It's no meat to it at the end of the day, like you're saying.
She should have just said, "Things are indeed happening."
Yeah. It's basically that. It's like
we live in a difficult world.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't that the problem? It's like they keep using the same talking points and they repeat themselves so often that the AI is not that smart. It's just repeating what you guys keep repeating.
Essentially, yeah. And wasn't that the problem with AI? Like, it ends up like producing so much AI-driven content that it starts sampling AI content to like generate more content, and so it's like it creates like the Habsburg jaw of like AI-generated stuff where it's just inbred to the point where it no longer makes any sense. But that's kind of what it felt like with this. It's weird.
Well, it's almost like how many reboots and requels and sequels and prequels are we getting? So it's like, is the AI worse than us creatives?
Well, as it turns out, we're getting a lot. MauLer was good enough to share some of this stuff with us before we went out, because we were talking a little bit previously about Alien Romulus and the AVP franchise. All of that stuff, the Predator movies that they've tried to resurrect. And apparently, this is according to Joe Blow, there's going to be 2 new Predator movies in 2025 alone, an Alien sequel, and there's probably going to be another Alien versus Predator movie, which I think we're all super excited about that.
Yeah.
The second anything works in any way, shape, or form, suddenly it's just like, hose is on full power, just blast us with shit.
Produce the sludge pipe. Yeah.
I'd make a great Predator movie. What I'd do is I'd have Joe Biden, I'd have Jimmy Savile, I'd have Harvey Wines, I'd have all the Predators. You've got kids, you've got to get them away from them. And they're going, ooh. You just get a shotgun and start blasting them.
I mean, here, like, because it's quite a lengthy interview, but like, I'll try and give you the highlights here. So they were doing an interview with, what's his name? Aspel. Steve Aspel. So he's the president of 20th Century Fox. He says that the Avatar, the Planet of the Apes franchise, Alien, and Predator are their top priorities. So the future of Alien was the first one that he was asked about directly, and he says, we're working on a sequel idea now. We haven't quite closed our deal with Fede Alvarez, but we're going to, and he has an idea that we're working on. The 2 survivors, Rain and Andy, were real highlights of the film, so I always think of it like, wow, where do people want to see them go next? Nowhere. We know there's going to be aliens. That's good. Nice one, Steve. We know there's going to be great horror set pieces. Okay. But I fell in love with both of them, and I want to see what their story is. Just okay, sure.
More ties into Prometheus.
Yeah. He also talked about Predator Badlands. So, he was asked if the next Predator movie is going to get a theatrical release because Prey just went to streaming, and he answered yes and no. Okay. All right. So, yes.
Not an answer.
Yeah, a Predator movie will have a theatrical. I'll tell you simply. After Prey became a success, Dan Trachtenberg came back and said he didn't want to do Prey 2. And we're like, what do you want to do? And he rattled a bunch of ideas off that were crazy but cool. We've actually done 2 of them. 2 are coming out next year. So 2 Predator movies. One I can't talk about yet, but the other one is live-action Predator film with Ellie Fanning that just wrapped up in New Zealand. That'll be our theatrical sometime next year. It's titled Badlands, and it's an absolutely bonkers idea. It's a sci-fi thing, no kidding. But it's not what everyone thinks it is. And I mean, it's awesome. It's nuts. But in Dan, we trust. Okay.
All right.
Didn't they
it's
already
interesting.
do
They
that
said,
with Predators?
well, we don't know what
Alien
this is going to
World?
be. Well, I don't know what Badlands refers to, really, so it's hard to know.
Yeah.
They're so vague about it.
But it's interesting they said that this one's live action. I don't know if it means the other one could be animated, potentially.
Maybe.
I mean, they did the animated Terminator show, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility, I suppose. He was also asked if they're going to do another Alien versus Predator movie, and he says, probably. It wouldn't be in the way you think. That's the thing. Not in the way that it'd just be Aliens versus Predator or anything like the original movies. If we do this, they'll be organically created out of these two franchises that we've continued with characters that we fall in love with, and those characters will combine, perhaps.
What?
Doesn't this sound like it's going to be a gay love story? I mean, like, characters
like-
we fell in love with. What are you talking about? This is Predator and Alien.
I feel like Ariana Grande's answering this question. Fucking hell.
I also
just like how he
this
has to
immediate
prep-
fear of don't connect it to AVP, the Paul W.S. Anderson fucking thing. No. We're not doing that. We're gonna do something good. You know, just I want him to be in the room with them when they say that. It's funny.
So it's going to be Rain and Andy, isn't it? They go on another adventure, and this time they run into a predator.
I mean, to be fair, it can't be any worse than AVP Requiem.
Nothing could be worse than that.
Content.
Maybe they should go the Joker 2 route and make it a musical. How about that?
God.
Why
I thought
not?
you were gonna
Singing
say-
predators.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something very different when you said go the Joker too.
I was thinking that as well.
We
Put
opened
Lady
the
Gaga
Predator.
in it. Make it
There
a
will-
musical.
There will be something like that on the hub, I'm sure, already.
Alien
Fred
is in a
thinks his
predator
weapon
prison
tool
with
out.
predator guards.
He just gets a big
Yeah.
dildo out. 2 giant dildos on his arms.
You see, the alien wasn't the true alien. He only inspired the true alien.
Have you ever seen the
Wow.
dance sequence from Predator 2? That's
Is it-
Oh,
yeah.
oh, it's glorious. Yeah, I love how they shot that, and they actually gave it choreography and everything. So I respect that. But yeah, these are all franchises that are like, they feel like just zombie franchises now, in the sense that they're still active, they're still making stuff for them, but nobody wants it, and they just feel so hollow at this point.
Nobody wants it. People loved Romulus drink it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, as you mentioned yourself, like, time will pass with that one, and they'll look back on it and realize, oh no, or they'll rewatch it at some point, like 6 months down the line, and be like, put Romulus on again, and be like, oh wait, that doesn't make sense. Wait, neither does
It was a
that.
hollow fucking movie. It was always bizarre to me to see praise of the characters in it when there's so little to all of them.
Yeah.
You know, the whole cast got wiped out, and all that was left is the robot and the girl. And the best thing you could say about the girl is she wanted to be free.
She wanted to
Like,
go on
okay.
She was the canary in the cage, MauLer. She just wanted
She
to
was.
fly. She wanted to fly and be free.
Dude, someone fucking left a comment on my video saying, I guess MauLer has no idea what canaries were used for in mines.
What?
I was like,
You literally say at one
that.
point, look, it's the canary going down the mine.
Yeah, that was like the whole. Who doesn't know that expression, really?
He thinks they actually mine. They get the pickaxes and
Has like a
lunchbox.
little pickaxe with this beak.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
we've got like 1 gram of coal today. Get me more
Yeah.
canaries.
He's going home and complaining to his wife.
Yeah.
Keep
Tough
that-
shift,
keep
honey.
over.
Yeah. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, that's so we've got a lot more Predator and Aliens movies to look forward to. So yay, bring it on, I suppose. You know
Even
what's
he
not
sounds depressed. Going, yeah, I suppose, yeah. It's never gonna end.
It won't end. That's the thing. It's the fucking wheel. I put a tweet out about this a
Yeah.
while ago. It feels like all my favorite like classic films are all on there. They just get brutalized in turns. Jurassic, we got another one of them coming.
Oh, you're right.
Leave it alone. And it's like, no, it makes money. And you're like, I know, but leave it alone. You wouldn't leave it alone if it didn't make money. You guys do it anyway.
Oh yeah, like cancel. When people were talking as well, just to go back to the problems that had been happening with buffering and stuff with the stream. Wow, yeah, the down detector for YouTube has skyrocketed over the past hour or so. Yeah, there's been a lot. I think is this a UK thing?
Is it? It was fine on my end.
We are a shithole.
I mean,
I don't, especially where I am. It's like Baghdad.
I like the response to is it a UK thing? It's like, well, no, it's always terrible in the UK. It's probably not a UK thing.
I mean, I'm in New York State, so I can't really brag.
Someone here, Germany, apparently they're lagging. So
I think San Francisco stopped being a thing in 2018. So I don't know where I'm living.
It's not a thing anymore. San Francisco, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But oh well, you know, I'll tell you what, because we were talking about all these unwanted sequels and stuff. You know what? A sequel that's not happening? Blade, apparently. The movie has been postponed indefinitely at this point, which is like the least surprising outcome imaginable, really. How many years have they been working on this now? I think like 4.
I heard someone say since 2019 was the first official mention of. We've also got. Was there not a reference to him in the Eternals movie as well, Blaze? Voice.
That's a good question.
It's one of the MCU movies I never watched, so I can't speak to it.
Well, I do have this article from IndieWire that says it's actually produced a nice little timeline of all the delays and ultimate failure of the Blade movie. I'm trying to see what they were going. Yeah, it's gone through 6 different writers, 2 directors in the time that it's been supposedly an active project. So I can give you the basic timeline of it here. So yeah, it was announced back in 2019. So that's 5 years ago.
Wow.
It was announced at Comic-Con. That revealed Simu Liu and the Eternals cast and the return of Natalie Portman to the Thor franchise. Yeah, all of those things worked out great, didn't they?
God.
Oh, yeah.
It was originally going to have the Watchmen writer Stacey Osei Kuffour. She was going to be the writer for it. I think it's the new one. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was awful.
And yeah, in July 2021, Basim Tariq was attached to direct it. Delroy Lindo was attached to the project, and so was Aaron Pierre. That was in 2022. And it's July of that year, Blade was given its release date, which was November 3rd, 2023. So that didn't work out. Then
what was the original plot?
There's various plots. One of them was that Blade was going to be a mentor to his young daughter, he was going to die, and she was going to take over as the.
Why?
You know,
why?
Because it's
Marvel.
Girl,
yeah,
Blade.
Because sons are not a thing anymore. Yeah, a father-son relationship is like dead.
Girl Blades.
Yeah.
Like, because every single like plot line now is just like, okay, so we've got this character, like a kind of a legacy character that people love. Like, what should we do with him? I don't know, kill him and replace him with a girl, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, if you trace
do for you.
all the major characters of the MCU, they have done it with, I would say, 80% of them now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got obviously Girl Hulk. We had Girl Thor. She did die, to be fair. So there's
Girl
Ant-Man.
They have her daughter. They have a daughter
had...
now. Hulk has a daughter who's going to take over.
Yeah, no, it's a son, isn't it?
No, it's a girl.
There's a son. There's a son in She-Hulk.
She has a cousin.
Oh, Scar was it?
Yeah, Scar was in the finale. She-Hulk.
Yeah, Skarr, I think it was. Yeah. Anyway, it's funny you mentioned Girl Ant-Man. It's like we already had Girl Ant-Man as Wasp, but
yeah,
Girl Ant-Man on top
Girl
of
Hawkeye.
Wasp.
We have a
you're right.
Girl Ant-Man.
Girl Hawkeye. Yeah.
Girl Hawkeye. Yeah. Remember
we got Iron Man. We got Iron Man.
We got Moon Knight, and then they introduced Girl Moon Knight before the season 1 even ended.
And Black Panther now is a female.
Girl Black Panther, yeah.
Girl
we
Black
don't have
Panther.
Girl Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, we do. Sorry, Madam Hydra.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Like, if that's what you want to consider, as some people have said. But what else is there?
Only Captain America is just now Black Captain America.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we did get Girl Captain America in MOM. So,
you're right.
Oh,
you're right.
Also Taskmaster too.
You're right. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Girl Iron Man? Obviously, Iron Heart is on the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I will believe that show when I see it. That's
Girl
been in the
Doctor
can
Strange.
for like years now.
It's funny that wicked actresses talking about erasure of a Black woman, and it's like, what about the erasure of all men from everything? Literally everything.
Because it's like, Kevin Feige straight up said, like, we want to have at least 50%, if not more, of our heroes to be female in the MCU. And you kind of think, oh, well, they're going to...
like 100%.
They went well over 50.
Yeah.
I think the thing that they didn't understand about mathematics is, like, instead of just adding more female characters in, what they did was replace male characters with female ones. And the problem with that is not only do you increase the number of females, but you reduce the number of males. So it's like you've doubled the problem that you've created.
Well, don't understand
AI math. AI math.
I want Ariana Grande to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Well, numbers are complicated, and we don't want to get too stimulated by them.
Yeah.
We have Captain America being replaced by Black Falcon. Then Black Falcon's being replaced by Mexican Falcon. The replacements are replacing the replacements.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the fuck are they going to tell a story in and amongst all of this? Like,
and then the number of lesbian space witches or witch covens and like obsession with witchcraft.
Witches have had a tough time recently.
We have had a staggering increase of lesbian witches.
Yeah. So many witches.
That's why there's not many of them. They don't reproduce.
Yeah. I'll give you the remainder of this timeline. So in September of 2022, it was just about to go into production, and then the director left. They apparently felt that he was not right for the project. So they were searching for a new director. So the production was then put on hold. The release date was pushed back until 2024, and it was shuffled into phase 6, I think. They go through more screenwriters then. They tried to get Beau DeMayo in. He wanted to do a period piece, potentially setting the story in the 1920s, which is,
I wonder why.
Fine. Yeah. So they were getting quite close to doing that. Then in April of 2023, the project started to gain more momentum. They had the True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto is brought in. Then the writer's strike happens. Then they ditch the idea of doing a period piece. They then shift the movie into the set in the present day. By May of that year, the writer's strike is in full effect. Blade is then shut down again. They also decided to rewrite the third act, so they were hoping to get back into production by the end of the year, which didn't happen. Then, by late 2023, they had been suffering, Marvel had suffered one of their worst series of bombs in their history. Jonathan Majors was out, so that was a bit of a problem because I think they wanted to use Kang in some capacity. What was the next?
I like how he
section?
got beaten by communist ants. The first introduction of the main villain dies to ants.
They apparently had a plan to shoot the movie for a budget of under 100 million. That was reported by Variety, which would be unheard of in Marvel. December of that year, the movie is then bumped again, so it's moved back to November of 2025. Another writer is brought on board. This is now their fifth writer, Michael Green, who wrote Logan and Alien Covenant. Marshala Ali gives the film a vote of confidence, which is great to know. So then the writer leaves.
They gives confidence, then gets cancelled.
Yeah,
this is going to be great, and it's over.
Their second director then leaves the movie as well.
Wow, what is going on?
You can just see Mahershala Ali's just crying, but he's wearing that mask with a smiling face.
He actually made a comment about this, my God, I've never known a movie to take as long as this to get into production. Even he was pissed off at it.
Yeah. Plus, he's not exactly a young man either.
Yeah, he's pushing 50, isn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. And how?
Yeah, I mean, he looks young, but he's obviously not. But in July of this year, just before Deadpool and Wolverine came out, Kevin Feige gave an update, and he said, "For the last few years, we've been trying to crack that movie. The most important thing for us was not rushing it and making the right Blade movie, because there were some great Blade movies years ago. They were all rated R. That's inherent, just like Deadpool. It's just inherent to the character of Blade. I think maybe the fact that Wesley Snipes came back in Deadpool and Wolverine didn't help. And then in October, still without a director now, Blade is pulled from its planned release date of November of 2025. So replaced by a new movie in the Predator franchise. Fucking of course.
It goes full circle.
Yeah. It's like, well, what other shit can we cycle in? Fucking Predator movie, I guess. And we'll do an Alien movie after that.
The past few days, all the memes where it's like Ryan Reynolds predicted the future with Deadpool Wolverine. With the joke, there's only ever going to be one Blade.
Yep. It felt like a movie that was cursed from the very beginning, really. I don't think people were super enthusiastic to see like an MCU version of Blade that'd be like all sanitized and toned down.
This is somewhat good news. Like, nobody wants to see what they're going to do with Blade, because it'll just be worse than what we have of Blade right now in our heads for the movies with Wesley Snipes. Just like, oh well, leave it alone. And to be honest with you, it's like that is probably how this happened. Is they've been fighting for ages behind the scenes about how much they're going to fuck this up, and in what flavor are they going to fuck this up?
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I with that comment that just came up there as well. Like, I think Wesley Snipes could still do a Blade movie, like an older Blade. You know, give us a fourth film to round out his tenure. I think that would be all right.
Listen, if Harrison Ford could make an Indiana Jones movie at age 116, then he should be able to get Wesley Snipes to do a Blade
and take a punch in the face. By the way, we have a female Indiana Jones as well. There you go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah.
Well, I keep seeing always reports that Ryan Reynolds is supposedly pushing for him to produce a Blade film with Snipes, but you'd think after the success of Deadpool and Wolverine, someone would do it.
Yeah. Do it while he's still available and while he is still young enough to be able to pull this off, because it's not going to last forever. And that momentum that you got around Deadpool and Wolverine, again, that's not going to last forever. I think it would probably redeem a lot of public goodwill if they just said, yeah, you know what? We're going to bring Wesley Snipes back for one more Blade movie. We could see people liked him, and he's always going to be Blade for us. Do that. Give him a good send-off.
And he wants to do it. So, and how many actors at his age? The guy's like 62 now or something. He still wants to get one more in. Just give it to him. It's like the whole cross with Carl Urban and Dredd. Still waiting on that sequel.
Yeah.
How do you all feel with the impact of these sequels on then the original movie that you liked? You know, when it comes to Alien, Predator, you know, even with Joker 2, the impact of that. How do you guys feel afterwards after watching these movies?
Like my childhood has been raped.
I think I can divorce myself from it, especially with something like Aliens. You know, it's like there's such a gap of time between, say, the very first Alien movie and then Romulus or whatever crap we've had in recent years. So I can say like they were made by completely different people, a completely different generation of filmmakers. It's not the same. I don't care. Joker is a bit tougher because it's literally the same director and it's just a few years apart. So it's like, oh, okay, I can see what you were going for with this. Then it's like, okay, that's Joker, my opinion.
Might be the most damage you can actually do. Like, I don't, you know, you could say top scorers would be like Ridley Scott with his additions to Alien well after, or you know, different directors and writers. The more it's like they lended legitimacy to the disgusting tumor that they then attach to the original works, and you're like, ugh, get off.
Yeah.
But you know, in the case of Alien, not to be crude, but like we've experienced this like 7 times or something at this point, where they come into the room where Alien and aliens are happily sitting there wholesomely at the table, and they get the belt out, and it's just like, oh no, and just hit the. It's just you have to watch it over, and then you know, I'm used to it at this point. I just I understand, and I'm sure we'll get more. We've seen it done so many times to try and recreate that wonderful era that we'll never get back.
I mean, I can see people getting upset by the sequels, like you're saying, MauLer, but like the baggage claim, I can watch Terminator 1 and 2 and just you never have to watch any sequels again. Just watch 1 and 2, and that's it. You know, it's like no one's forcing you to buy, you know, the Dark Fate or Genesis. Just buy 1 and 2 and forget that they ever existed.
Is
so
it
you don't feel like it colors your enjoyment of the originals?
I mean, I don't care how crappy Dark Fate is. It doesn't taint Terminator 2 for me. I watched it one time. I'll never watch it again.
Is it more poisonous that the actors say something rather than the sequels? So like Mark Hamill saying shit, does that ruin Star Wars more than like the sequel trilogy?
Interesting.
That is a good question, because you do like when you see him, it's like, well, that's what's going on in his head, like while he's doing this performance, like back in the day. Like obviously he wasn't obsessing with Trump back then, or maybe he was. I don't know. Maybe he's even back then just fucking hated him. He just like
goes way back.
It's like from the moment of his birth, he just fucking was born hating Trump.
He just came out with he's ready to vote for Kamala Harris right the second he was born.
I do think generally I can try to divorce the actor from the art from the artist, and with someone like Mark Hamill, it's like I watched him in we watched him in The Fall of the House of Usher, and it's like, yeah, he turned in a good performance there. That was cool. He's playing a good character. Liked it. Didn't think too much about him in real life, so generally it's possible.
Yeah, because
it's super contextual, I guess. Because I was just thinking, like, could it ever? If I find it like some of my favorite films, the meaning I get from them, is there anything any particular individual can do to ruin it? And it's like, I don't think so. Like, even the director, it's like, I don't even think they can do anything.
So Rings of Power didn't impact how you felt about Lord of the Rings?
No.
Not at all.
Not even close.
There's no connection there whatsoever. You know, the one that weirdly hurt more than I expected was Linda Hamilton coming back for Dark Fate.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing but respect for her, and like the performance she gave as Sarah Connor back in the day was just like phenomenal. It was like properly trend setting. And then to have her come back for the shitty, like low effort, low energy garbage when she was clearly way too old. Well, it was embarrassing.
Didn't she say she didn't come back for 3? She didn't like the script enough or whatever.
Yeah.
There was 2 things. Like, one was the physicality of it. It's like, look, if I'm gonna like kill myself in the gym, like that was something I could do back in the 90s, but like I don't really feel up for it now. And 2, like I wasn't happy with the script. It didn't feel like my character was done justice. And it's like, what? But you came back for this?
Yeah, T3 would have respected Sarah Connor a hell of a lot more than Dark Fate did.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I assume for Dark Fate it's been 30 years. She probably just needed a paycheck. She's probably broken her 70s.
It might be. It was just like they offered her a shit ton of money to do not a huge amount of work, and it's like, just okay, fine.
They made Arnie a Draper. What the fuck?
His name is Carl.
Carl the Draper.
He's very funny, and he has a very non-sexual marriage.
And he can change diapers really efficiently, apparently.
They desperately need a normal person when just before they move forward from their premise to be like, no, that's bad. That's really bad and silly, and you need to do a different thing. They're like, oh, really? It's like Carl the Draper, who kills John Connor in the first 2 minutes of the film. Is there something wrong with this?
Then he says,
well, it's exactly
John.
Yeah. It was exactly the same as like The Predator, when like Shane Black was just allowed to go full autistic comedian on us, and like nobody stopped him. Nobody said like, yeah, you know what? You're turning the Predator into a goofy joke. Please just don't do this.
The best part of Dark Fate was when they played the clip from T2, and then that was it. It's just we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so say the baggage claim this year I told Drink about before. I took my son to see Return of the Jedi for the first time in theaters, and just the scene between Luke and Vader, that emotional, the music playing. No matter what Mark Hamill does, taking my kid for the first time to see Return of the Jedi in theaters, Mark Hamill can't taint that experience.
But did you warn him and go, listen, don't get too attached to him? He turns to a twat 30 years later.
My kid doesn't have Twitter.
Keep him sheltered from the reality of the sequels.
Don't let him watch TLJ, and like he'll come to you sometime and be like, "Oh, Dad, I've heard that they did sequels to this." Like, no son, no, they didn't. That's a lie.
No. You do with everything. Terminator. You go, John Connor, and you go, don't worry about him. He dies. He's not going to save the world.
I was blaming Drinker. I'm like, hey, buddy, want to watch Agatha? He's like, Dad, I'm not watching that shit. Why are you watching it? Because Drinker asked me to.
It is funny if you have a kid that you're putting through all these like awesome classics who will consistently ask, are there shitty sequels for this? You're like, yes. Shitty sequels for this one? Yes. Shitty sequels for this? Yeah. Are any of them okay? No.
Back to the Future.
No. Back to the Future. True. For now, let's see how that plays out.
Give it time.
Yeah.
I do wonder how they feel towards us. It's like, well, we're the generation that got to experience this stuff when it was still good, but it's like we also had to watch it get tarnished and like ruined with sequels and prequels and God knows what else. It's like we loved and lost. And is it better to have like not experienced it at all? I don't know.
We're an interesting generation too, because we also experienced life before the internet and before social media. Like internet, at least for me, was like when I was growing up, it was very slow. You had to wait, and you couldn't make calls at the same time. And then suddenly social media took over, but not until I was in college. And so like I felt like I got to have a life where I just went downstairs and played and like didn't have a phone and like no one, it was just this like reality, like growing up in reality versus now it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's just different times, and like I don't know, man. Like when you think about the stupid shit that you said when you were like a teenager or whatever, like just to piss people off or whatever, that was just between you and your friends, and it was forgotten about, and that was it. But like a lot of people now, like asshole teenagers, are saying that stuff on social media, and it's going to stay there forever.
Yeah,
and like that'll probably show up when they go for job interviews, and like all this, your whole life is kind of documented online now, and like the internet truly is forever. And you just think, my God, like they must have to be so careful all the time.
Yeah,
because there's stuff there that could potentially like ruin your prospects forever. And I mean, it's
Or
just
you
stuff we
triple
never
down.
had to worry about.
And you just go, right, say racist stuff out the gate. That way they can't use it against you later on.
true.
Just go
I mean,
You're always an asshole.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Weeper's Guide to Never Getting Cancelled.
I did all these things. You just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Can't cancel you if you cancel yourself. Yeah. Checkmate, motherfuckers.
Sending a message.
Yeah.
You're not firing me. I quit.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I was interested in, right, because Venom 3, The Last Dance, is out now, and we have managed to locate someone who's actually seen it. Out of like the entire human population, one person has seen it. His name is Dark Hour, and he is reporting to us live from his house, I guess.
I was gonna go see it right now, but I'm on here.
Oh, sorry. Well, he can tell you if it's worth your time. Anyway, Dark Hour. Yeah. You're on live.
Yes, Drinker, I'm here.
What can you tell us about the scene of the crime? What can you tell us about this
first
movie?
I'm gonna take a shot.
Okay.
To catch up a little bit.
That kind of movie.
And I'm gonna start by posing a question. When you think of Venom, where on your list of things does dance number to ABBA's The Dancing Queen lie?
Number one.
Like on number one. Oh yeah, it's number one, because that was exactly where I thought it was, and it shows up right at the midpoint of the movie. It's fantastic.
What?
That had to be the dumbest thing I've seen in about a week. So
what is it? Why is everything a musical now? I don't get it.
Yeah. It makes sense.
It wasn't honestly, it wasn't really, I wouldn't call it a musical. It was just one really so they go to Vegas at one point, because why not? And he runs into, I know nobody remembers shit from the Venom movies, so like just try. But that like random woman that ran the convenience store that he lived under or over or whatever, just happens to be in the casino in Vegas, and takes him up to her like suite that she won, and her and Venom, not Eddie, Venom in his full suit, just have a dancing number for no apparent reason. And they're like, oh, how about one last dance? I was like,
they said the thing.
But I couldn't even make that joke. I couldn't even do that. It was that bad. I was like, me and the other person there were very, very.
You could have made the BBC joke. Venom, the Asian woman.
This may be the single most repetitive film I've ever seen. It's just so they have, first of all, anybody who knows the comics, Null, the god of the symbiotes, king of the void, all of these random titles that he has. Probably the only cool character that's been invented in the last 10 years or so by Marvel. He's in the very beginning, he's the opening scene, and he's in about 10 seconds of the end. And that's it. That's the whole amount that he's in. He just sends these things that they call xenophages. They're just dogs, giant dog alien things to go hunt down the symbiotes. And so apparently they can track specifically Venom because of a dumb contrivance that they have. But it only happens when he's in his full form. And every time he turns into the full form, the dog thing just crashes through the wall. It's like no time whatsoever. It could be hundreds of miles away. And he turns into it, it's like right through the wall. And it just keeps happening. It's like every 15 minutes. Oh, we can't turn into our form. Oh, I turned into it. Oh, here's the dog again. Let's run. It's the most repetitive movie I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I'd honestly love to talk to the director because I think it's the same guy who did all 3 movies, isn't it?
It's a woman. It's a woman.
Right. I'd love to say to her, like, how does it feel to have directed a trilogy of the most forgettable films in all of Hollywood history? Like, literally, because it is a joke at this point. Like, it's a meme that nobody can remember anything about any of the Venom films. Like, they're just.
I just remember from the second one. I just remember being why, like, looking at it, like, why did you cast Woody Harrelson as Carnage? He was one of the biggest miscasts. I was like, that part was like lined up for Jackie Earle Haley. I think he would have been fantastic with that part. And it's the first one. I always say, I've said this before, I'll say it again. The first one's not really that bad. Like it's a bit forgettable, but when you go back and watch it, it's not the worst. It's not the worst way to spend an hour and a half. The second one's utter dog shit, and this one might be even worse.
Wow. I'm blown away by the fact that they clearly made enough money that they're viable, like they're justifying sequels.
Yeah.
I just don't know how. I don't know who goes to watch them and why and what they get out of it. They're just such weird movies. They always come out at this time of year as well, where it's just like that sort of traditional like summer movie season where you get like superhero films. They bypass all that. They come out in like October when you expect horror, and it's just like these goofy, forgettable, bland superhero flicks that feel like they came from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's such a weird. It's a weird little franchise.
With this one too, it picks up right after the weird Mexico scene that they showed in. Was that the end of No Way Home? And
there's like some weird reality shift or something.
Yeah, and they don't even really address that at all. There was one line that made me laugh. It was right in the beginning. It was right in there when Venom, when they get sucked back out of that universe, and Venom just goes, "We're done with that multiverse bullshit," and that was it. That was the only thing that was funny in the whole movie. The rest of it was just fucking horrible. It was. I texted Drinker at like what I thought was close to the end, and there was still half of the movie left.
Wow.
I was like, what is going on here?
Like, I feel like I've been in here for 3 hours. It's like, yeah, you're only like 30 minutes in, right?
It really felt like that. And I just, at this point, so if you look at it as a series, not only is the movie repetitive, if you remember in the first or second one, multiple times he gets separated from Venom, and he's like, "Oh, where are you?" They do that in this one too. Yeah. And Tom Hardy, he's trying his ass off with what he has, and it's just he can't make it work. Which is, I would have normally gave him some slack, but apparently he wrote that he was a part of the writing team.
Jeez.
What?
Wow.
So,
damn, Tom.
It's that's my report from the field. How are you guys doing? How's everything? These are all some of my favorite people to stream with, and Blue Collar Loser. What's up, everybody?
You know what? Let's be that for your birthday.
I'll catch up with you, Drinker.
Well, it sucks, because Venom, especially as a comic book fan, there's a billion Venom storylines you could have told. At the end of the day, what's the point of this trilogy?
So I think that actually at its core might be the biggest. The biggest problem is that they're doing this fucking stupid Spider-Man-less Spider-Man verse that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
That doesn't. There's no reason to do it. You don't have to necessarily use Peter Parker. They could have used Ben Reilly. They could have done the Scarlet Spider. They could have just kind of revived the Andrew Garfield version. They could have done so many things to bring Spider-Man into this, but still give the MCU their Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so that's the main problem. Number two is that they're picking from all these pretty good stories. So you had with the second movie, you had they took some stuff from Lethal Protector. They took some stuff from Born in Blood, and they just kind of threw them together into a story that didn't work. And that's the problem, is they're just cherry picking random details from good stories and throwing them into a shit script.
Yeah.
And I saw the Craven trailer. It looks like straight up trash.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, does it give a conclusive ending, or is it setting up the possibility of more Venom movies?
I'm guessing no one in the audience really in the chat really cares if I spoil this. So, I'll give. Does anybody care out there? I'll give them like 10 seconds to determine that.
I am willing to bet my life savings that not anyone in chat gives a shit about spoiling this.
Drinker's life savings, if we're betting that.
Tom Hardy
give you at least £4.50 on this one.
Yeah. Well, Tom Hardy said that I have no problem coming back as much as I'll play this character forever.
Well, I got
really?
yelled at. I'm just asking the chat because last time I did something like this, you guys yelled at me about Romulus, so I'm just double checking. I'm sorry. You were
wrong on Romulus. It was way worse. You lied.
I'm just gonna start becoming Drinkers like in the field guy. I'll just go see the movie at like 2 o'clock my time, and I'll report at 5 o'clock my time.
You have to do it outside the theater when there's a storm happening. You look like
I'll
a
do
man.
that. I'll see if I can make that work. I'll like put on like a poncho and be like, I'm here. But
so just the end of the trilogy.
It's weird conclusive because like Venom dies. He like sacrifices himself, but we saw that in the first movie and he came back anyway. And they show Null. He's like, I'm gonna come and kill all of you. I fucking hate everybody because I'm stuck in this shitty area. And then all of a sudden, Tom Hardy, like Eddie Brock, is just in New York because the whole time they're trying to get to New York. They start in Mexico. They're like, oh, we got to get to New York because I have dirt on a fucking judge there. Let's blackmail a judge. That story never goes anywhere. They're just trying to get to New York the whole time. And MauLer will get a kick out of this because he was on the Beast Up the other day. He's at the end. He's staring at the Statue of Liberty. And he's like, oh, I'm here, buddy. You're not. And I was like, that's New Jersey, motherfucker. But so it's like very ambiguous as to whether or not it's over. I think it was done like that on purpose, though. I think it was designed like, oh, that we have an out or we can come back if it's successful, which I don't think it's going to be. It's a race to the bottom with these Spider-Verse Sony films.
Wow.
Well,
okay. Well, there you go. That was Venom: The Last Dance.
Yeah, I tried to get it all out as fast as I could.
I mean, honestly, yeah. If anyone still feels inclined to go watch it after that, then hats off to you. Like, really.
Dark Hour, you took a real bullet for the rest of us.
Yeah, thank you.
That's becoming my thing lately. I did it with Agatha. I'm doing it with this. So I'm going to do I think I'm going to try to do a proper review on this, though. About halfway through, I ran out of stuff to take notes on because it was just so repetitive. That I was like, I wrote this already. If I just keep saying the same thing over and over again, it's going to sound like I'm just recycling, and that's pretty much what they were doing.
Yeah.
I've been watching Agatha, by the way. What the hell even is that show? I
didn't watch the most recent episode yet, but
maybe you can tell us because like we've given up on it essentially. Yeah. Like I just can't bring myself to watch it anymore, and I don't feel like I'm getting.
Oh, you're missing out.
Oh,
I mean, what are they doing now?
The latest lesbian trend. It's fantastic.
I don't even know. I can't answer the question about why I should care about it. It's a story about like not likable people at all, and I don't know what the purpose of the show is. That they're on this witch's road, and I don't know what's going to come out at the end of it. They had a big reveal in the last episode. If none of you saw it, I can tell you about it.
The gay twink. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the episode for episode 7?
No, episode 6.
Okay, because episode 7 I think came out last night. I haven't watched it yet, but I've been following it. I had
no. You
there was nothing in it, to be honest. There was nothing in it, but
I mean, everybody.
What's that?
It doesn't make any sense because how the fuck? Right, so the gay twink is Billy Maximoff, Wanda's kid,
right? Or. But he wasn't always. He almost like Billy after the destruction of the little society she created. He's inhabiting this.
He's inhabiting another Billy.
Yeah. What?
So some Jewish Billy dies, and then Billy Maximoff somehow uploads itself to his body.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "You're going to be gay now," and makes him gay. That's basically what
everybody's gay. Everybody on the show is gay. Just so you know, everyone's gay.
And then he's driving
I'm not surprised by that.
He's kissing a black guy. It's like this. He's still got the mind of a child. This is creepy.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
Very
What?
odd.
So he's a 10-year-old kid who never actually
inhabiting
existed. But then
the body of an 18-year-old Jewish boy.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to like a year or two later, and he's going out with gay black boyfriends.
It's not that big of a I mean, I'm going to defend it slightly, Reaper. It's not that big of a gap. He's at his bar mitzvah, which means he's like 13. So
No,
it's not as big of a gap.
The body is, because Billy Maximoff's mind when he died in WandaVision was 10.
Yeah, so he'd be about 13 when
which is he's driving a car.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't but like when you say he died in WandaVision, he never even existed in WandaVision.
Yeah, I know.
It was just a figment of her imagination. So what? Like he now exists as an actual consciousness?
Yes.
As
so
a Jewish man, yeah.
They say it in first of all, everything in Agatha is done in really off the cuff, just like small lines that they just throw away. He basically grabbed William Kaplan dies, and then Billy Maximoff just kind of goes into his body because both of the parents they get into a car crash and both parents run off to go get help. I'm like, why are you both going? Only one of you needs to go get help. But it's besides the point.
Oh, by the way, while they were driving, it was the mother who was driving and not the father. I always find that very interesting.
I mean, I go over all of this in my video for it, where they're driving closer to the problem. They're like, they get text messages and they're like, oh, you got to get the hell out of here. And then they drive closer to Westview. It's like, well, that's where the problem is. Like, why are you going that direction? And then they so basically
directions are hard, Dark Hour.
Yes, directions are hard, especially when the towns are called Eastview and Westview. It's very difficult.
Oh my God, which way should I go?
And it's the show. So that show has this massive problem of they use a character's worth, whatever it may be, whatever minimal amount they are needed, then they just kill them before they have any character development whatsoever. They just keep killing everybody. They're just like, okay,
so how many of the witches are still standing then?
3.
Who have we got left?
2, maybe 3, because randomly at the end of episode 6, Aubrey Plaza disappeared and nobody mentioned where she went.
1 dies in this one, and Aubrey Plaza's death. So she's not like actually real. She's not like alive.
Yeah, she's.
What is she?
I didn't watch the latest one.
Lady Death.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The weird thing is she's like in a weird lesbian romance with Agatha.
Yeah.
But then she wants to kill her.
She is.
But then she's a lesbian with her. So I'm like, well, what you make up your mind?
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that made me stop watching the show. Because I just thought I don't need.
You probably
this
made
in
the
my
right
life.
choice.
It's just like a fucking therapy session for the writers, like whatever weird fetish they want to concoct in their heads.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we can just make this real and like force actors to play it out for us. Yeah, great. Okay, if it makes you feel better about yourself, but like we don't have to watch it with you.
And
it's stupid.
I'm also getting really tired of the female friendship trope, because that seems to be the blanket on every show, is that first of all they're going to be lesbians, and then whoever you're not having a lesbian relationship with is going to be just your best friend ever that you've ever met. They did something similar in Ted Lasso, obviously acolytes like that, and then they're going to do the same thing in Wicked. The whole movie is about friendship and how the power of friendship can help you defeat the wizard, right? Because down with men and all that. So it's just so tiresome because there's like no variety to it. How about like various types of relationships that you could have, positive and negative, and then also why it's always so darkly lit. Every one of these modern shows, it's impossible. I have to watch them during the day because this is kind of my job. So I have to watch them during the day and I have no idea what I'm looking at, because I'm not gonna like sit down at night on my like nice TV and watch a shit show. I'm gonna watch that on the iPad while I'm doing the dishes and nothing else.
It has become one of the hardest things in all of this is to try and find a good image that you can use for a thumbnail. I have to take almost every single one and I have to put them through an AI filter and enhance the shit out of them, and they don't even look the same anymore. And I'm like, I could have just asked the AI to do it for me at this point. The
Rings of Power was probably the worst offender for that. I think the nighttime scenes, or if it was in a cave or whatever, it was so dark that I couldn't make out what was happening on my TV. I thought my TV was busted. It's like, is the contrast all wrong or what? And like everything was set to max. Still could barely see it unless you're watching it at midnight, like with all your blinds shut and everything, every light turned off. You can't make it out.
everybody got the wrong idea from that episode of Game of Thrones. They were
God.
episode 3
yeah.
of
That was the
season
worst.
of last season. They were like, yeah, that's what every show should look like going forward. That's exactly
God.
Yeah, I
what
mean,
they're gonna do.
you're right. The episode was so
Yeah.
well received. You know, they just
The
They blamed you.
the
Blamed your
memes after
TVs.
that, they blamed the TVs, and the memes after that were gold because one of them was, "I want to thank the Lord of Light for providing some lighting during the battle," because she lights all their cleavers or whatever they're called.
But it was their scimitars.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah,
You know what they're called. I have no idea.
yeah. But yeah,
Just-
that's pretty much Agatha.
Yeah,
There you go.
it sucks.
Just before we go on, I just wanted to read a few member chats out because it's come to my attention. So essentially, member chats won't appear in like when we do our catch-up streams or anything. So we have to do them on the night, otherwise we'll lose them. So I'm just going to read a few of them out now so we don't miss them. So the first one is from Flav, who says it's free. It'd be rude not to use it. Hail to the panel and hail chat, you absolute legends. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Kim Husby says, hey MauLer, will there be some more Batman Arkham gaming from you soon? How about you, Drinker? Keep up the good work, fellas. You rock.
I don't know about soon, but at some point I need to play some more games on streams. I've just been very busy.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I will play a bit more of Silent Hill 2 on my gaming channel and probably do a bit of Astrobot as well because I've got that all ready to go and I haven't had a chance to play it yet. And it'll be a nice antidote to Silent Hill 2. Although you can actually get Pyramid Head in it, which is quite cool. I really like that. Stormbringer gifted 10 Critical Drinker memberships. So thank you very much, my friend. Neo Hippie gifted 5 of them. So thank you to you too. And Poopa Chalupa says, safe travels next month. Yes, looking forward to going out to Grand Rapids in Michigan for a Comic-Con. So catch me there. Should be good fun. What's the other one here? So I don't miss any of these. Matt PG says, hail open bar. Killer panel today. Thank you. And we have Dark Hour.
Unfortunately.
Any excuse to come to get in on this panel.
Man on the ground. That's what you are.
Yeah, once you guys get to the Smile 2 review, I'm pretty much useless. I'll pop out at that point.
Yeah. Zed joined up as Fellowship of the Drink, so welcome aboard, sir. And yeah, that was the member chats there. So yeah, I was actually going to talk a little bit about Smile 2. So I don't know, Docker, if you want to stick with us until afterwards.
No, I'll pop out. I don't really have much to add for that because I haven't seen it. So I just feel like I'd just be taking up a spot.
Do you ever?
I always take up a
Brutal.
spot pretty much.
Y'all are so mean.
I know.
It's okay. But yeah, if you going forward, maybe I'll just be the man on the ground. We'll see how it works. And it was actually great because of all the buffering issues. I had a direct line to go listen to the show from backstage. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in here and watch this way.
Nice.
But I'll catch everybody later.
All right, buddy.
And, yeah,
Thanks, man.
And I'll see you all on BSUP on Monday if you're going to check it out.
Nice.
Bye.
And yeah, as Melvin's pointed out here, check out Dark Hour's second channel. The link is just there. But yeah, so I guess it being the time of year for horror movies and stuff, one of the ones that's out at the moment is Smile 2. And MauLer, certainly you and I had watched neither of the Smile movies until just a couple of days ago. And we caught up on it just to do this, basically.
Went from knowing nothing to Smile experts now.
And I couldn't stop smiling after watching it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to go first or shall I or what? Like, what's the best way to do this?
I don't know. I guess, should we do a quick summary of the first one so the people are caught up in case you don't know? You start there, I guess.
Sure. So yeah, in the first one, the main character, whose name I can absolutely not remember,
Rose,
witnesses someone delete themselves, and I gotta be careful how I say this on YouTube because you know how it is. Anyway, okay, yeah, I'm sure you will, Reaper. Thank you. I'll have to edit it out later. Anyway, she witnesses that it's quite gruesome and stuff, and when she does, in the days afterwards, she starts having horrific visions of this person, like smiling at them. They keep coming back, they keep appearing, and it turns out she's being stalked by a malicious entity that basically infects the next person who witnesses the killing. and it keeps going on in a chain. Eventually, it'll possess your mind, and it'll cause you to kill yourself, and then someone else. You'll do it in front of someone, they'll see it, and then they'll get infected by it, and so on and so forth. So the main character tries various things to escape it. She even thinks that she's defeated it by confronting her childhood trauma, where she allowed her mother to pass away when she might have potentially saved her, because it was kind of an abusive sort of parenting situation. You think she might have overcome it by confronting her childhood trauma, but she didn't, because it's all just an illusion by this thing that gets inside your head, and it shows you whatever it needs to show you to get you under its spell. And she ends up taking herself out at the end. So that was the first movie. I actually quite liked it. Aside from the fact that the main character was really bland and boring and played by a quite unlikable actress, I thought the concept was nice enough, and there was some decent little jump scares in there. So it's just your standard horror movie.
Have you seen It Follows?
It very much reminded me of that.
I felt like it was just a worse version of that.
Yeah, it was. It was
yeah,
not.
The premise
not as good
sounds
as
the same. I haven't seen Smile Too Bad.
It doesn't have. Because you know how It Follows, like, it's kind of always there, and like you're just aware of it, like slowly coming towards you. It's more sudden and unpredictable in this, but it's the same idea.
I don't like this one as much is that there's so little for the main character to do about this creature. There's almost nothing.
Yeah,
and the rules are so fucking unclear. And then the big one that really annoyed me was I never know what I'm watching is real or not. It's only right in literally the last few seconds of both movies do you get told what was real or not.
True.
And the whole like, oh, you're just being manipulated and what you saw isn't real, that's kind of kept under control a little bit in the first movie, but it goes wild in the second one. And I don't know, MauLer, do you want to give a summary of the second movie?
Sure, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, so the first one ends with as Drinker mentioned, the girl, she does not defeat the creature, so she ends up setting herself on fire in front of the friend of that film that was helping her try to solve this before the end. And we jump right into him at the end of his rope, essentially, because you get between 4 and 7 days before it'll get you. Yeah. And he's losing his mind, and he's used his connections as a policeman to basically find a person, because the only way to get rid of it that they learn is if you kill someone in front of someone, such that the trauma of them witnessing that moves the creature on to the person who witnessed that, and it moves it off you. So he came up with it. And by the way, this is funny because I was watching Smile 1. I did think, like, if it goes to him, he might be able to find some criminals that are real bad, and he could maybe. And then that's what they do in the opening. He finds drug dealers, like low lives. He's like, yeah, I'll pin it on them. It doesn't go perfectly to plan, and he ends up dying. And I did get the impression, by the way, because it happens right at the beginning, I was like, they didn't want to make the film about him, huh?
Yeah, clearly.
To move it
also, like, the actor had clearly like aged a few years since like the previous movie. His hair is like way longer and stuff. Like, but it's supposed to be like a couple of days later. But okay, fine, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, to do it a bit faster, it moves on eventually to a celebrity singer, and we get a different vibe, a different dynamic in this one of someone who's. She's still got a traumatic history, like memory thing, and she goes through a similar experience as the girl in the first one. But personally, I felt like they bumped everything up in Smile 2, as in they tried to do bigger and better effects. They tried to do different kinds of scares. The camera work felt like it was a bit more dynamic. And I have to say, I think a lot of people are saying this. The I forget her name. She was in Charlie's Angels, the main girl.
Yeah.
She was excellent in this film. She really put her the effort in to act her ass off. I was honestly kind of like she was keeping me in because I wasn't too interested in the smile demon, so to speak. But with her, I was like, man, I'm feeling stuff for her. She's really going through it,
because I messaged you about this and saying like that was one of my big positives with the movie. Like that, the main actress was really going for it, and I think the fact that like she's playing a sort of Miley Cyrus type character, like she's a pop star and stuff, and she even looks like her quite a bit.
Definitely.
So right off the bat, I was rooting for the monster, man. But as the movie goes on, I actually came to really like her, and a lot of it just comes down to like a really good, strong performance from the main actress, because the film really puts her through the mill. As MauLer explained, that she's got past trauma. She was in a car crash that sidelined her. Like she was out of her music career for like over a year or so, going through rehabilitation and stuff. And she still suffers a lot of the after effects of that, like physically and emotionally. And you gradually uncover what happened to cause that car crash. And she was obviously, you know, back then she was in a really shit place doing drugs and stuff, and that was part of the problem. And yeah, the actress conveys that pretty well. And like she'll do that thing where like when she gets like really stressed, she'll like rip a chunk of her hair out, and it gets more and more severe as the movie goes on, to the point where she's like a whole part of her scalp is just exposed. And I don't know what, maybe they just discovered that the actress can chug a bottle of water like really quickly, but like she does it so many times throughout the movie.
Yeah, there is that one where she does like a whole Voss bottle in one go, and I was like, oh, that wasn't okay. Yeah, good for you.
Okay,
that's
any girl that can do that, you know, you sort of think, well,
why was that in the film though? Why was her?
There is a reason for it. It's it's meant to be like if she's suffering from stress and she's feeling like, oh, I want to you know, get a hit, or I want to do some drinking or something. Her doctor told her like, just chug a bottle of water. That'll help to distract you and it'll get you. But I just almost feel like the actress somehow is really good at that, and they were like, how can we work this into the movie? Because you get to see her a few times just chug an entire bottle of water in seconds. It's impressive.
Imagine that's in her contract for every movie from here on out, that they have to find a way to
dying from hyperhydration or something.
Is that why she can't get away from the monster? She always needs to go to the toilet.
Oh, dude, that part was there's actually this. So something they do in Smile too that I was always like, oh, that's cool. That was like, oh, they didn't quite follow through. Remember the crazy fan who meets up with her like in the first act, and then when you think he's turned up in her actual apartment, I was like, oh, this is great, because I don't even know if this has anything to do with the Smile Demon thing. Like, this could actually just be a fan. And then it turns out it's very explicitly, you know, the spooky demon. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought that maybe they would play with it a bit more, though. It's still there, like, allegorically of what celebrity culture is like, which I appreciate. There's elements I appreciate.
This is the annoying thing, because I feel like the movie's it's teetering on the brink of saying like something about like the nature of celebrity and like the way it like chews people up and stuff. And but I feel like it gets so caught up in the demons, like monsters aspect of it, that it doesn't quite know how to handle that. It's almost like it feels like obliged to say something about it, but it just doesn't know how to address it. And so you essentially just have this character who's kind of manipulated by her mother to be like, you know, oh, we've got to do another tour and we've got to like do these advertising deals. Like her mom essentially runs her life, and it's like she's just kind of bust from place to place to do another thing. And like, even though she's clearly starting to come apart emotionally, it's always just like brushed over, like, just, you know, keep going. And it's like, okay, fine, but then like, where are you going with this? And it feels like the movie doesn't quite know where it's going with it, and it's kind of a shame.
Is it a drama with a horror thing attached to it, more like a skin suit? Because a lot of them do that.
No, I think it's very much, it is a horror movie, or at least it's going. It is almost like a horror movie with a drama skin suit attached to it. I think that's probably the better way to look at it.
True.
Because sometimes they do that. They can't get the money for a drama, so they have to sneak it in through a horror film.
Yeah, I think you know, I think a lot of people get tired of the whole like, oh, this monster in this movie is just a manifestation of childhood trauma or something, like, and it's always like allegorical. There's an element in that of that here, but it's more like each of the characters has to address like something that they've done in their past, because like the idea is like this thing feeds off negative emotions, people that have got like traumatic experiences. Usually it's you know, witnessing a death, but then like with each of the main characters, they've kind of caused a death at some point in their past through their own actions. They've got to try and like reconcile with that, but there isn't really any redemption to be found. And I think as MauLer pointed out, see once you realize like the monster in a story is unbeatable and it has unlimited control over reality and everything around the character, there's no tension there, because I know it can't be beat. It can't be defeated in any way.
To be clear, not only can it make you see anything it wants, it can also take full control over you whenever it wants. So it's like, you watch her do any particular thing, she could be dreaming, she could be controlled by the creature, she could be doing something completely different, and you might be like, well, that kind of creates a sense of unease, right? And I was like, that is a bit boring for me. I was like, I gotta wait until the end of the sequence before I can know whether or not I can care about this in any particular direction. And this hits the second movie hard. I don't mean to, I don't know if this counts as a significant spoiler trigger, but I feel like we have to talk about the fact that almost half the film didn't happen.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys about that because they do kind of play with in part 2 the premise of maybe finding a way to stop this thing, but then again, how much is that real, or she's hallucinating that?
Yeah, all of it's hallucinated.
There's an entire character that gives her a way out, but you're like, that's not real. Is he real or not real? Oh shit.
And so I don't like when movies can then do that, because it's like they can just rewrite their own rules as much as they want and say like all this stuff, like, because there is some incongruous things that happen and you think like, okay, that felt a bit weird. Like the fact that she's in some kind of wellness clinic when she's freaked out and like bashed her own head in and stuff, and then she just escapes and there's no follow-up. It's like, how's that able to happen? Then the movie can just like rewrite it all and say, well, it was all just an illusion, and so none of it matters.
Yeah.
But then it's funny you say that, because there was one element that I thought was actually working in its favor, because it was something I thought would be cool, especially with what we'd seen in the first movie. That I was like, what if they have a character that's with her in almost all the parts of the second movie that is the smile creature the whole time? It gets revealed it's actually that. And I was like, that would be neat. And they kind of do it. And I was like, oh. But unfortunately, they rewrite all of that again. It's so weird to have a twist that you're supposed to rely on having paid attention to all these different scenes, that then we get another twist that says, no, none of that matters.
And it doesn't
like, oh,
it's a twist.
It doesn't make sense as well that friend is the smile creature as well, because it helps her on numerous occasions. Like helps to like calm her down, like give her like emotional comfort and stuff. Like why would it do that? Like, well, how does that benefit it?
I suppose it all gets recontextualized, that it was just keeping her busy the whole time because none of that was real anyway.
This is what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Like then there's no reason to get invested in anything because none of it could be real. And so I think in order to have an element of tension in a movie like this, there has to at least be a light at the end of the tunnel. There has to be a potential way out, even if it's like remote and difficult. And if there isn't, and then you realize like, well, this thing can just do whatever it wants at any time. It's like, well, okay. I might as well just see how it plays out, I guess. But what's the point in caring about it?
That was weird for me is because I was like, oh, but that was the payoff for the first movie. That she did everything she could. She thought she beat it, and then she didn't. And then the second movie was like, she did everything she could. She thought she beat it, and then she didn't. I was like, well, but...
yeah.
All right, I guess.
MauLer's definitely right, because the second film I was hoping at least at this point give us some explanation. Like, it doesn't even have a name.
I would just... Yeah, I think what you would have to do is... provide a way of fighting back against it or something, or expand upon how it came to be or something.
Frowning. You just do that.
Sure. Anything really, but like it's essentially recycling all the plot points from the first movie beat for beat. In which case, why are you doing it? It's just like a bigger, grander, like more stylized, more gory version of the first movie, because like the gore scenes are quite good. They're quite impressive.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the performance a lot. I really liked is his name Ray Nicholson, I think. He got himself a real good... They used him properly for his smile, as weird as that sounds. This little scene where they have it. Dude, that scene, I couldn't stop laughing when she pushed the old lady onto the table.
Yeah. It was like the first movie, you know, when she just falls through the table at the kids' party. Like, that made me laugh as well.
Oh man, I found the first one a little bit annoying with the fact they gave us was she a psychiatrist? She had some kind of experience with mentally ill patients. Some of the shit she was saying to people to convince them, just as an example, right, where she's kind of a stranger with her sister. It's not a great relationship, and she runs up to her. She's like, I can explain to you what's wrong. I'm cursed to be chased by evil smile demons. And it's like, you must know how that sounds, right? You can't be saying this to people.
Yeah.
And she goes to a fellow psychiatrist. I think she's seeing a therapist, and she just says something like, I want drugs, prescribe me drugs. I was like, how does a psychiatrist not know that is like the primary way to not get medication? But whatever, it's fine. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't even know which one I prefer, Smile 1 or 2, but I guess the performance in 2 might edge it out for me.
Yeah, because like I say, I with the first actress, I don't know what was going on with her, but like I didn't like her really throughout the whole movie, and she was quite. How can I put this? Like, you know, in a film like this, like you would expect her to start out looking very composed, very well presented, because she's a psychologist, she's a professional, she's well educated, she's wealthy, presumably. You would expect her to look good, and then gradually become more disheveled and like drawn and pale and stuff as the movie wears on, because her mental state's deteriorate and she's under more stress.
Yeah.
But weirdly, she kind of looks like a bag of shit right from the beginning of the film. Like, I don't know how else to say it. She looks really like pale and like gone and skinny and just ill. Like, I look at her and it's like, what kind of cancer are you suffering from? Like, it's weird. And like, yeah, like it didn't fit with, I guess, what they were trying to do with the movie. I don't know if that was just bad casting, but like they nailed it with the actress for the second film, and I think that's what probably drew me to it more.
True.
Something that kind of annoyed me too is if there were, let's say, 20 set piece scares, it felt like 12 of them end with blarg.
Yeah, because some of them end and it's like, I don't know how that scene was resolved. Like the demon monster will have her pinned up a wall against a wall, like by the throat, and then the scene just cuts and like it's the next bit. Like, well, okay, what happened there?
To give you an idea, there's some creative stuff in there that I actually quite like. Some stuff like with mirrors or with how the camera will move with her. Or like, you remember the part where they're all almost recreating the sense of backup dancers, the smile demons, as they're coming at her gradually. Yeah. Like, I thought there was a nice creepy factor to that. But then there was some stuff like she gets the video file on her phone and she's watching the guy walk through his house being like, oh, I think I heard something. Something through here is dark. And there's like different things. You're like, oh, how are they going to... I thought, how are they going to incorporate the video file with her actual existence right now? The smile demon can do anything. So really, like, we can do some really creative stuff here. And the camera just hard cuts to another wide shot of her looking at the phone, and the demon just goes, blarg. I was like, well, yeah, I guess. That's scary. Yeah, okay,
it's fine. Cheap jump scare. I think the scenes that like got me the most in the first movie, because I feel like I'm flitting between the two in terms of like what's more effective. The first one, like where like occasionally she would glance out the window and she would see the girl that killed herself just standing in the middle of a park, like probably like 200 yards away or whatever, and so it's really distant, but she's just standing there motionless looking at her. And I love stuff like that because it's so matter of fact, but it's so like just you know, this sense of impending doom and dread, like it's there, it's coming for you, and like no one else can see it. It's just
like Michael Myers, right?
Kind of, yeah.
The reason why I think It Follows was an upgrade from that sort of thing is when you look in the distance, you see people going in all directions, and one of them you can kind of make out is beelining straight for you, but at the similar speed as everyone else. It's like, is that? And then everyone else thinks you're paranoid. No one else can see it. It's like they're doing a follow up to It Follows. It's called They Follows, I think. Well, They Follows, but yeah. Well, in any case, with Smile and It Follows, I feel like both of them could be way better if you spend a bit more time with the creativeness of how it can horrify or terrify you instead of screams at you. I'm very, very bored of screams at you suddenly. I got you.
Because or even having some sort of logic to what's going on so that the character has some chance of beating it, even if it doesn't in the end. But there should be some followable logic.
Yeah, and I think it's always the difficult thing of horror films because like they're at their most scary in probably the first act when you don't fully understand what the thing is, what its limitations are, what it wants or whatever. And like as you come to understand it and what it can do, and then perhaps the characters come up with a way that they might be able to defeat it, it becomes less scary, and it's not like this unknown terrifying force. It's like a thing that can be overcome, but you need that in order to sustain the tension of where the story is going to go, because as I was saying earlier, you know, if it becomes this omnipotent thing that it just can do whatever it wants at any time, like, well, there's no tension there because it's just one automatically. It can beat you no matter what you do. Of course it can.
Right.
You know, so you need something, and it's a very delicate balancing act with movies like this.
I also think because they're probably going to get a third one, especially with the cliffhanger, and this film is doing well, and it's just it's classic horror ratio of box office to budget. But I have a feeling they are inches away, Drinker, of being like, there's this ancient professor who went to the South America and he found the temple of the smile demon, and it's an alien spaceship that landed. You're like, no, stop, no.
Yeah, because there's going to have to be an origin story for it eventually. We'll get a
Yes.
prequel or something. But like, it's funny because I think the fundamental concept of it is quite interesting. Like this idea of like, you know, it doesn't genuinely, for the most part, you don't see anything too outlandish and horrific. It's a more just like, what's scary? It's like a person who just is smiling fixedly at you, but their eyes are not, if you know what I mean. Like there's something just really uncanny and weird about that. And it plays upon that quite effectively at times. And I do like that idea. It's just, yeah, all the stuff that comes with it, like it starts to become a little bit overwhelming. And especially what you get with a sequel where like, you know what this thing is already. There's no mystery element to it now. It's just, okay, it does this. This is how it works, whatever. And it's just like, how can we just make it more gory and more over the top? But yeah, the concept behind it is quite cool. I do like it. And as I think you said, MauLer, there are certain actors who can, I don't know, summon up just a very creepy smile.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess some people can arrange their faces that way and do it, and other people can't.
Really kind of cool to know Jack Nicholson's son inherited his brow and his smile. Like,
yeah,
they literally fucking cast him clearly for that because he doesn't have many speaking lines. He has that moment where he does it. You're like, oh my god, oh look at him, he's back.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the like other actors throughout these two movies that have done a good job with that, like who were equally unnerving.
Drinker, I thought that little girl with the pigtails. She was pretty sick in the second one. Remember part 2?
And the braces and stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
That was like, man.
That was a weird one because as well, it's like people were interacting with her and like, oh, you know, turn this way so we can take your picture. It's like, okay, are you real or are you not or whatever? But yeah, the guy that I think MauLer talked about, like who's the really crazy fan with the weird like skin rashes and stuff.
Yeah,
like who had shown up at her house.
He's got poopy pants.
Yeah, they have to show his soiled underwear on the ground.
Well, it's like you're saying, Drinker. There's no tension if, like, sometimes Superman, he's too perfect and he's too powerful, he's unbeatable. But the problem with this is now you have a entity, a villain that's also perfect and unbeatable. So far, 2 films in, we know nothing about this thing at all.
Yeah, and it's never. Sorry. Baggage claim. I think you were.
Oh, I was going to change the topic slightly and ask you guys about another movie. You go ahead.
No, go on. Because I think we've kind of just bantered about this one.
Have you ever watched, any of you, The Empty Man? I think that's what it's called, The Empty Man. Yeah, because what MauLer just said about going into a cave and discovering the source of something made me think back to that movie, and I couldn't remember what the name of it was, but it was kind of similar where people were, I believe, just deleting themselves and people couldn't understand why.
Right, yeah. I think that film ended up being like downright hyper inspired by Lovecraft lore. It was it gets really, I quite like a lot of what The Empty Man does for scares, but I remember feeling a bit wonky by the end of it in terms of understanding the full story. But yeah, horror's all over the place, man. We're still figuring it out, but from what I gather, people really like Smile and Smile 2. So I guess it's just going to be a big old new franchise, which is funny because it's side by side with Terrifier, which is apparently doing a good job as a new horror franchise. We've got the new Saw movie is going to come out. Another Final Destination is getting its next movie. Like horror is just the schlock garbage trash pile that's just like, yeah, fuck it, we know what we're getting, let's go.
I mean, it is exactly as you say, like, you know what you're getting, and like studios love horror movies because they are super cheap and easy to make, and like they generally, if they do well, they generate really good revenue for you. Like I can see why they make them, but it's like, there's a lot of inventiveness that you could bring to it. There's loads of ideas for really horrific concepts. Like, just play with it a little bit. Don't just rely on gore. Like, people kept asking me when I was playing my Silent Hill streams, like, oh, have you seen Terrifier 3? Haven't seen any of the Terrifier movies. They sound like just splatter porn, like just like gore and over the top like torture stuff. Not interested in that. It's never appealed to me as a genre. So
it's too far. I mean, That's why I love the Paranormal Activity. The first 3 films, I think, are so well done because it's just so minimal. It's everything is left to your imagination. What you guys were saying earlier, that it's always the beginning where you don't know anything. You are just kind of trying to fill in. But I think Paranormal 1 does that so well with such a minimal budget. I think it was like $45,000 or $15,000. I mean, and then they just kept making more and more movies. So I'm glad they stopped with that because they actually, I think they did a really good job and it was really inventive.
Yeah, Drenger, to you and MauLer, because you watch both Smile films, Smile 2 is clocking at 2 hours and 12 minutes. I mean, do you need any more than 90 minutes for this film?
No, it's flabby. The first one was kind of flabby as well, actually. Like around the midsection, it just kind of slows right down, and I think they probably could have shaved about 20 minutes off it easily. Same with this new one. It should have been 100 minutes, probably at most, I would say.
Trigger, did you find when her head did a swingy swing in the first one funny? I did. I thought it was so funny.
What, like your sister when she comes to the car door?
Yeah.
Yeah. Made me laugh.
I think I was laughing at the visual, but I was also laughing at the concept that someone thought that was horrifying. I was like, why the fuck did you put that in the movie, you fools? Like,
that's times when I thought, like, is the movie just having a bit of fun with us? Like, I thought maybe it is meant to be a little bit goofy and funny. I don't know. I did like this one as well. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching smiles right before she died.
Well, see, I assume that was part of the point, maybe, of because the person I was watching Smile 1 with got a little annoyed with it as a like allegory on how we deal with mental illness. So their theory was something along the lines of like, were they trying to say that, you know, everyone just wants people to smile and get on with life? We don't have to deal with those with mental illness and we don't take them seriously. And that's what's happening with these main characters because
I don't think it's that deep.
Paranoid and broken. That's pretty much where I'm at. Of like, I don't know. I don't think they thought much beyond. Hey, what if like, a guy was just like in a room with you and he just smiled at you?
Yeah, I think that's honestly what it is. It's like, because I think that's the essence of a lot of horror, like the normal turned abnormal, like something that you're used to seeing every day, but just a little bit warped or different or whatever. And like there's something uncanny about it that just sets you off as like, oh, something's wrong here.
The thing
I think that's all it is.
I'm almost like, I guess, saying I wish it were more than that idea. I wish they did take it a bit further. I think Smile 2 is trying to go a bit further, but still nowhere near. As you just said, it was flabby. I completely agree, and I feel like we could have put so much more into the film. Considering how could you spend so much time and then tell us none of it happened? You know, like goddamn, you know.
Because I think I don't know. It would obviously take a bit of work, but I think there's something you could then say about like there's something inherently horrific about the way if you're famous, like you can never go anywhere and not be recognized. You're kind of treated as like this commodity that's bought and sold, and you know, like that weird facade that you have to put on to the public, even though you might be falling apart inside. That's interesting stuff. I think that could tie into like a psychological horror in a creative way. I just don't think they quite knew where they wanted to go with it. With this,
I don't know if anyone's here has seen it, but I feel like The Substance does that better than this film does.
It's a good movie.
That's a wild film that came out and created a lot of buzz for a whole different bunch of reasons. But yeah, definitely, there's a couple of things that are shared by Smile 2 and The Substance. And to be honest with you, I feel like I've seen that more than a few times now. The whole like celebrity culture is getting torn apart by the world and stuff. I wouldn't mind a film that maybe tries to give some form of a counter argument somewhat, to be like, yeah, but this is the life that you've submitted yourself to and you could try to escape somewhat. In fact, Smile 2 it's technically it didn't happen, so but the mum actually does give a counter argument at one point to the criticism she gives her, if you remember. She's like, oh yes, I've ruined your life, even though I've spent my whole life trying to make your life better, you know.
But then obviously that's just the demon monster thing. He's like,
that's what I mean.
Play to her weakness, but like it is a valid argument, though.
It's not only the demon monster; it didn't even fucking happen. Like, this is what I mean about the whole like, damn it, film. I'm trying to like work with you a little bit.
Yeah, and I think particularly when it's a pop star like this, who's, you know, even in this movie, she's still pretty young, and you presume that she was started off at a very young age. It's like, well, okay, she didn't necessarily sign up for it. It might just be a young girl who's good at singing, and her mum pushed her into it, and then she's like sucked into the machine. Again, that's something. And there's a slight element in the film of like her taking back control. Like she says that a few times when she does have this moment of realization, like, you know, you're not driving this car, I am. Like, I'm in control actually of it, and I can beat you. And I did have a moment of thinking like, oh, is that how she's going to do this? Like, she's going to realize this is all in her head, and like ultimately, you know, it's not attacking her. She's like hitting her own head against the wall or whatever, or pulling her own hair out. And once you can master your own mind and take control of your own life, you can beat this thing potentially. But it never goes that way.
Oh yeah, and if ever they use that as a payoff now in Smile 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,846, I'm going to be like, well, this isn't really fair, because the first two Smiles have both the protagonists overcome their trauma and pull back away from the Smile demon as like, no, I'm finally taking control. Only for the demon to be like, lol, no, you didn't. You thought you did, but you didn't. And so like, I'll consider it very cheap if people beat that demon that way in future. To these two characters, because you know when she does what she does in the end, before we get the reveal of all of it not even happening, I was rooting for a bit. I was like, yeah, you did the thing you needed to do, and I think this, from what I understand, mechanically you've defeated the monster. And then the film was like, no, she didn't. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I wonder if like that's the premise, that this thing purposely targets people that are weak-willed. Like, what if it went up against somebody that's actually strong-willed?
What if it went up against someone who didn't have trauma?
Exactly.
We were speculating, me and my friend, we were like, what if it's like Blad smiling and the guy's just like, all right, what are you doing?
Like a psychopath.
Yeah, just to get, or like an old dude with a newspaper who just doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, yeah, he's always there smiling at me. I don't know.
It's totally nonchalant.
How'd you guys feel about the Sergeant?
I was just thinking, like, you remember that Russell Crowe movie, A Beautiful Mind, where like the main character is like psychotic and he suffers from all these like paranoid delusions and stuff, and his solution, like, it doesn't allow him to like overcome it so much as like he just ignores it, and he still sees all these like weird visions and stuff in the background, but he's just like, nah, you're not real. And I just thought, isn't that a cool resolution? Like, if someone had that level of self-awareness where they were just able to say, nah, you know what, like I know that you're trying to fool me here, and you're not going to get the better of me, demon.
I think that could be something they do in a later Smile film. They find someone who survived the week, and they'll be like, "How did you do it?" And he's like, "I didn't. I think it's still there. It just doesn't bother me." Like,
did it just shake its fist at him, going, "Why you? I'll get you.
Come on, be scared. Boo! Smiling at you."
He gets even more lame.
It would just be funny if he was like, "I'm just not that bothered by people smiling at me." it's I don't know, just something that never really, you know.
Like, you know, it comes up against a Scottish person, and it's like, you know what? Smiles don't bother me because I'm miserable all the time, no matter what. You can't get me.
Yeah, I think that became the problem with the Final Destination films. Every single film, nobody survives. That's it. It's just hunting random people every single film.
Yeah. Well, they do in the early movies, but then that kind of gets done away with.
Yeah, because the only one that lived was Ali Larder, and then she dies in the second one anyway.
Yeah, the three of them survive in the first one at the end, and then like one of them gets killed right at the final moment, where like a big neon sign swings down and kills him.
And Devon Sawa was killed off screen between films.
Yeah, by a brick.
Yeah.
I'm quite obsessed with Final Destination. They're so bad. Like, I really wanted them to be good. Final Destination 2 is like the last time where they tried to move the story on, and then the rest of them they just repeat. Yeah. From what I gather, the plot line for the new Final Destination, and this is kind of, I was like, okay, this is something. So in the 60s, a woman gets the vision of something's going to happen in a like skyscraper, and she gets everyone out, and so all of them survive. We're talking like a shit ton. This film is called Final Destination Bloodlines, by the way. And the idea is that Death has to kill all of those people. And by the time he's getting through all of them, some of them have had kids and some of them have had grandkids. And so I think
Death is like, oh God.
Yeah, that's the idea, is we follow like a grandchild of that woman, and Death is trying to fucking catch up and kick people off the list. I was like, that's something. That sounds interesting, I guess.
Death is like, no rest for the wicked. Gotta get going.
Yeah, you're almost making Death into the protagonist, like he's overworked and like doesn't get enough pay and stuff.
Giant to-do list.
I don't even like this job.
One person moved to Japan. He's like, oh, I gotta go to Japan.
It's like, I'm killing them as fast as I can, but man, they just keep multiplying and having more kids.
Like Death on the fucking plane, just sitting there like,
just
this feels ironic.
I hope it doesn't crash. Is he in like economic class where there's like two fat people next to him? He just goes, oh, he kills both of them.
Adds
and
more
them.
people, to his list. like 30 people get added to his list just from the flight.
Isn't people go in the toilet? He just kills them all just to go first.
Doesn't Bill and Ted 2 do something like this where like they bring Death back from like the netherworld or something, and they're going through like a hardware store and they pass like this really fat guy, and Death just looks at him and goes, "See you real soon."
Oh, there's a guy smoking too. Yeah.
What was this one that came in? Escape the Prison Colony says, "Hey, Drinker, MauLer and Co. Nothing negative and a bit of a left turn. Some old school Australia gangster films to watch. Maybe you've seen some. Chopper with Eric Bana, Two Hands with Heath Ledger, and Dirty Deeds with Brian Brown. Keep up the good work."
Wow.
All right.
Eric Bana. That's a name I haven't heard in quite a while.
Check it out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen them. But thanks for the recommendations, my friend.
Just curious, how do you guys feel about the small monster? I mean, at least it was a different design than we've seen before. It was something different. I'm not saying it was great, but big 10 heads.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I guess because there's so little context, it is truly the main appreciation I'm going to have is the design of it and the practical effect of a lot of it. Which, I was like, it looks cool.
The first one just was a bit goofy. It kind of made me laugh rather than be scared. The second one, when you see it up on stage and it's like this big sort of like skinless hellhound thing, I was like, oh, okay, that looks all right. Nice.
I liked the like it tears, and not to spoil, like I don't know, whatever. Like the way it tears open the mouth to climb in. I was like, that's kind of a spooky visual. I like that, I guess. Yeah,
it's got definitely some interesting concepts, not the best execution.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to be super interested in seeing Smile 3, but I guess I'll watch it for the sake of seeing what everyone's talking about if it goes crazy and stuff. Like so for. Again, spoilers, but whatever. I guess it's like going worldwide at the end of the second one, more than likely.
So, worldwide, baby.
Yeah, it's that's gonna be, I guess, good enough to make people want to see what they're gonna do with that in the third one. To be fair, I guess I'm a little curious how they'll do it.
Yeah, because it's going to be a busy monster. Then can it multiply?
Yeah, he's got to get going. Got to get smiling.
Smile multiverse.
Smile harder. I must admit, I did like the bit with the weights, the sort of weight scene to the face like that. They really kept that one going. Like you think, okay, there's no face left there. He's going in for another swipe.
Like you more said, some of those the deaths though, they're very inventive because wow, like one guy's got a crowbar, like geez, dude.
Yeah, because you only see a quick glimpse of that, but I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Should we do a few super chats before we finish up this evening?
Yeah,
my friends. All right. Tom Waiting says, "R.I.P. Simu Liu. He sadly had a brain aneurysm after discovering the Wu-Tang Clan." I'm sure he's raging about everything. That bubble tea thing, man. Honestly, what an idiot!
He's so insufferable.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking. It's a good recommendation for his career and the Wicked actress's career too.
Yeah, just Simu, go back to being a stock image model. Like it'll be better for you.
If he wanted to bring up culture and all that, I go, what about the Uyghurs in China? Let's bring that up.
Yeah. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation, are you?
Yeah. Falun Gong mean anything to you?
I love that clip. There's Bobby Lee was on a podcast and he was talking about how at least with Asian cultures there are no instances of people slavery and people misusing each other, and they correct him right then and there. They're like, Koreans actually have a history of like unbroken slavery for 1,500 years and considered like the longest slave trade possible. And he's like completely baffled.
It's funny how people just choose to forget stuff like that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I just don't get, if you've not had any education on it, why would you make such bold claims about history? Why
you make bold claims?
You always have an option to not say anything about stuff you don't know about.
I think it's always just assuming your audience doesn't know anything, and it's like, I can just say this stuff and no one's going to question me on it. So
I think the less people know, the more confident they are in what they believe, right? Like the more you find out, you're like, oh, you're more open to nuanced thinking, and I might not be aware of this or that, and like, but it's like the people who are the least educated that'll just say absolute nonsense and like double down, triple down.
The process of like Dunning-Kruger, right, is that you start out ignorant and confident, and then you learn a little bit of it, and you're like, holy shit, I don't know anything. Yeah. And then you move back into, once you know everything, like, oh, I know stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty confident about it.
Yeah.
We go through it on everything, guys. It's all normal.
Jason B said, have any of you heard about Juror 2, which is supposed to be Clint Eastwood's final movie? A character-driven movie with an intriguing premise and no superheroes or monsters. So is it a true unicorn in modern Hollywood?
Nice.
Fuck, I'll watch it.
Yeah. No superheroes. What's the point?
Yeah. But to see stuff explode. But no, I mean, like, yeah, Clint Eastwood, again, he's not one of those little treasures of Hollywood that seems to have remained pretty grounded throughout his career and has consistently delivered. And he's not going to be with us that much longer because he's about 150 years old at this point. So, yeah, enjoy him while he's around, I suppose. And if he makes one more movie, I'd watch it. So, yeah, hopefully. Gene the Revenant says, cheers, gents. I understand there's a few metalheads on the panel today. Has anyone checked out Christopher Lee's brief metal music career? Didn't they just sample some of his audio or something for it?
Basically. He was just talking.
I mean, it's cool that he did it.
Oh, yeah.
He's you got like the band that he was like more thoroughly a part of, but then he like makes cameo appearances depending on which bands want to grab him in for stuff. It was always crazy that I listened to Rhapsody of Fire, like completely unrelated, and he introduces like some of the songs, and I was just like, "What the fuck is that, Saruman?" Like, what
it's like
this is awesome.
A dude who fought as a paratrooper in World War II is also like doing metal music. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's nonsense in the best way possible. I love it. Yeah,
he's lived many lives. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, because like there was this great thing doing the rounds on social media where it's like they'd stop the filming of the Hobbit movies for like, hours on end because Christopher Lee was just telling stories.
Yeah.
And like you got these great like moments with the actors said like, my God, that man's lived a life. And like they were happy to just sit and listen to him because fucking hell, when Christopher Lee decides to start speaking, you shut up and listen.
Yeah.
And I think, it's great that people were so respectful that they were willing to do that.
Well, plus the cast was like, his stories are better than the actual films we're making.
Yeah. Yeah, what a life. Sonny Close says, for the insight about bold claims being connected to ignorance, writing that down. Nice. Thanks, man. Canada Plus. Hail to the panel. Which was worse, Deadpool and Wolverine or Captain America the Winter Soldier? Also, any thoughts on Venom 3? It releases today. Well, we had Dark Hour here who gave his thoughts on that, but I don't know. MauLer, you're quite critical of both of those movies. What would you say is the worst?
Anyone can answer that question because even if you love them both, there would be an answer to it, right? But my answer would be Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that's worse. I feel like everyone here is going to say that, aren't they?
If I had to pick between the two, I'd say Winter Soldier's probably a better movie, writing wise.
Yeah, it's definitely a better film. I would say Deadpool. It's the hardest I've laughed in a couple of years though, in the theaters.
Elsie Le Pen says, happy pre-spooky week, Open Bar. What are some of your favorite Halloween themed specials or episodes from TV? More can't pick Treehouse of Horror, so you have to pick something else.
Dude,
racism.
I know.
Fine. It's all the other things. Like, I love horror Halloween specials for everything. They're great.
I'll tell you, like, in fact, I'm the only person from the UK who's old enough to remember this, but there was a TV special on called Ghost Watch, right? And we had, I think it was Michael Parkinson who was presenting it, right?
Wow.
And it was done in the style of being a legit, like, one of those stupid paranormal investigation shows. But it was all scripted drama, but you didn't know it at the time. And it was a more innocent time. And it was like the investigation of like a poltergeist activity in some like house in the London or somewhere, and it just escalated with like the presenters ending up like disappearing and stuff, and they had like a lot of well-known celebrities at the time, and it fucking freaked the shit out of me when I was a little kid because I was maybe 10 years old when I watched it, and I thought it was real.
Was Craig Charles in that?
He was. Craig Charles was in it. Yeah. It was quite notorious at the time because, like, again, people didn't know that it was faked. Oh,
what was that?
Speaking of paranormal activity,
paranormal.
Just a motorcycle haunting my streets. That's all. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Some people in chat have seen it clearly.
Well, what was the scariest film you watched as a kid?
Oof. It might have been The Omen. And not because like it was like had horrific imagery or anything. I think it was just the unsettling atmosphere. And you know, when you're a kid, you don't fully grasp everything that you're seeing.
Like, the noise just comes on.
Kind of, yeah. And like you're just like you're very much like taking it surface level, but like some of the stuff in it, I just remember being really unsettling as a kid, and I think that probably freaked me out more than anything. I'm sure I saw it in The Mouth of Madness as well, like when I was really young.
Deep cuts.
Mine was Child's Play.
Really?
It really,
wow.
Because I had a Chucky doll. I watched it when I was really young, and I had a Chucky doll, and my brother used to put a knife in its hand, and then the door would slowly open, and I'd see a shadow with a knife in his hands, and I'd go, ah!
Yeah, it's some fucking childhood, man.
Yeah.
Then
it's Bradford.
I moved on to Scream. Scream was my scariest movie because my other brother hid under my bed with a glow-in-the-dark Scream mask.
Wow.
With a knife as well. And my mum was going, why are you just so loud at night when there's a person under my bed?
I think for me, funnily enough, it was.
And then she found him, beat the shit out of him.
The remake of The Ring, because I saw it when I was 9.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I just have vivid memories of the you know, the first kill, the like schoolgirl in the closet when they open it up and you see her and she's just like she looks like a painting of one of the screaming person thing. I remember that sticking in my head. And then of course the guy at the end who's on the chair and he just gets, because I don't even know how to describe what the ring monster does to you, but it like stretches your face and just
like because they're all kind of like bent like that or something, and like they're all discolored and shit. Yeah, it's funny, like, because I missed out on the hype around Blair Witch Project, because like that was massive when it came out, and I think I rented it on like VHS or something at the time, and like my mate and I watched it in broad daylight on like a sunny like afternoon, and it was like the worst possible setting to experience a movie like that, and so we were just laughing our asses off throughout the whole thing, and it was like, fuck, I missed out on that.
Yeah. So to this day, Fire in the Sky with Robert Patrick, that messed me up for a while. That alien abduction scene.
Fire in the Sky.
Remember, it had Robert Patrick, and that was based on a true story where they abducted him. DB Sweeney came out 91.
I don't think I've seen it.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think I have.
It's still ranked among like the worst alien abduction scene, like for horror fans.
Yeah.
Really good.
What about you, Baggage Claim?
Yeah, I'm a big scaredy cat, so I've stayed away from horror most of my life. I think the first like proper horror film I watched was Ring, and then but I was already in college by then, like, and I was scared. I was still scared. I'm just not. I'm a total scaredy cat. I just stay away from it now.
I'm intrigued by Fire in the Sky now. I feel like
really
I need to know more about this.
It's funny. My sister posted that last year on Facebook, and she's like, "It's still free." She's 40 years old. It still messes her up.
Wow,
it's a really check it out sometime. You'll more like it.
Elsie Le Pen also says, "Also, I support Gary MauLer. Go watch Venture Bros. Do it." Liam Cannon says, "Hail Drinker, MauLer, and panel. In your opinion, which is the better film, No Country for Old Men or There Will Be Blood?"
It's a tough one.
I'll take No Country for Old Men. I fucking love that movie.
I might go for There Will Be Blood just on the basis of Daniel Day-Lewis's performance. Just like untoppable.
I'd go There Will Be Blood. Because outside of Javier Bardem, that film's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying it's terrible. It's just he is clearly I just remember his scenes. I don't remember anything else.
I mean, There Will Be Blood has an ending, which helps out.
I hate you all.
MauLer, I don't know if you've ever seen this. Like, someone produced a video and it was like an NES version of There Will Be Blood. Like, almost like it turned into a platforming video game, and it's like you play as Daniel Plainview, like walking along, like collecting oil, and like he'll run into like a guy who just goes, "I'm your brother, Daniel," and he just goes, "No," and shoots him.
That sounds amazing.
Then you get a little cutscene where it's like him talking to his son, and it's like, "You're naughty and deaf. Off you go." Like, oh, it's amazing. You dig that up from somewhere. M8566 says, "Hail baggage claim. Glad she is here. I wanted to hear her take on this wicked situation." Well, there we go. I think we talked about it a bit.
I'm glad we covered that one. I was stewing on that for a little bit, actually. It took me a couple of days to, I'm like, I think I get so put off by these instances of people just like caught up in their own. You're so lucky. You have this amazing, you're headlining a movie that's going to make millions of dollars. Just find some level of gratitude and humility somewhere.
Fuck. Sorry, I just saw my dog move in the background. It totally freaked me out. We were talking about horror movies and stuff.
It's a smile monster.
I forgot she was in here. Jesus. Ace Degenerate says, "Hello, MauLer, Drinker, and panel. Will you guys be playing the remaster of The Thing when it comes out?" So yeah, they are apparently doing a remaster of that. I never played it back in the day.
Yeah, I never played the original. So.
Really?
It's apparently considered canon to the movie, though. So
it's like the unofficial sequel to the movie, and actually some same characters, and
yeah. So I don't know, might be a good one to play if they remaster it. Is it? This is the thing, right? You know how they remastered the first 3 Tomb Raider games? Is this just going to kick off this whole new era of just like doing fairly easy remaster, slight graphical upgrades of previous games, and just repackage them and sell them on again?
It's a quick way to make 40, 50 bucks.
Yeah, it's an easy way to make money, really.
If they sell, because Dead Space didn't, and that was a really good remake.
Yeah.
That was a remake rather than a remaster, though. That was a ground-up remake.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if you look at the Tomb Raider ones, it's literally the exact same levels. Everything's the same. It's just like there's literally just a graphical skin that goes over it. Pretty simple for them to do, but like they can make a ton of money off it. So I don't know.
Than new games. Like, what is there to actually look forward to play?
Yeah, because it's the exact same game, just with sharper graphics.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Interactive movies after games are.
Sure.
Pretty much at this point, yeah. What's this? RRTNZ says, "Hail Drinker and team. Nice to see BlueCollarLoser back. He'll back me up recommending Mr. In Between, a compelling Aussie dark comedy crime drama. We all need a friend like the main character." We get this every time, man. Everyone always recommends Mr. In Between.
For a good reason.
Yeah, I believe that it's amazing. Zeddy Boy says, "Smile to review. Wow, uneventful week, Drinker." I mean, what can I say? Like, we have to cover the stuff that's out. And like, Smile 2 was one of the things.
Yeah, I mean, people seem to be liking it, you know.
Talk about Israel and Palestine instead.
Yeah, it's like, what would you rather we covered? Like
Agatha all along. Nobody wants that either, so.
Yeah.
There's the Penguin, but that's not very good.
What?
Oh.
I don't like it.
Drink,
what?
Really?
Really?
Do you know
the mob are retarded?
MauLer's pulling his hair out in the background.
I'll be fine. I'm gonna take a rest. I'm gonna
watch episode 5, MauLer. Episode 5's really good.
Check some water.
It's
MauLer.
not good.
Oh.
Really though?
She would have been caught when she poisons everyone. She would have been caught instantly if anyone dusted for any fingerprints.
They're in Gotham.
What was that going to establish, though, that she was in her own house?
They already knew she was there. That's fine.
No, the police. Because the whole point is they think VT's the one who did it. And
yeah, no, but like if it's a place that she lives, like her fingerprints could be conceivably on anything,
the whole
anywhere throughout the house.
They suspect it's murder, and they suspect it's murder, so they go, right, well, it's carbon monoxide poisoning. We should check the ventilation system. Why do we not dust at least for fingerprints? Because I doubt the head mafiosos are going to be downstairs doing the filtration systems.
Well, I think it's implied that. Well, it's implied that the chief of police was already taking kickbacks from Carmine already.
That's
so,
Well, that's another thing.
I think she was implying like, hey, I'll be the one that's going to be handling that sort of thing now. So like, don't pry too deeply into this.
But that's another thing I found the show. The police are supposed to be like this big presence, which is why they're downgrading the Penguins' drug operation. Yet we never see the police be any sort of threat. But that's the whole incident that causes the Penguin to turn traitor, because his position in the family's being threatened
by the police.
I mean, it's little bits like that.
I mean, his position was threatened heavily by the families rather than the police, wasn't it?
Well, no, the family said we got to downgrade you and move somewhere safer because we've got too much heat on us. But they seem to control all of Gotham. They can get the judges to put Sophia in Arkham, is it?
Well, yeah, sure, but like heat is relative, right? As in, like they do have a lot of heat on them. Not that they cannot control it. Well, what would you need to see other than the fact that
like a drug bust, just one quick drug bust going, like a dead quick beginning line.
Well, so
something like dealers on the street
getting attracting attention and shit, right? Like the everything they do is under more and more scrutiny. So stop making noise, stop alerting attention.
Yeah, but we never see it though. It's just, in fact, they seem to just have like gang wars out in the open, and it's fine.
Well, I mean, this is Gotham City, so it's a place that's like kind of crime-ridden to begin with. And I think
but that would be one thing. Like, if it was just a gang war and it was just two corrupt mafiosos, it'd be fine. But it's like the police we're told they have this big influence on the Falcones. It's why they can't do anything. Yet they just never, ever see them be under pressure. And it's not just that as well. It's just the whole Sophia thing where when she comes in and lectures them at the table, why does no one smack her?
Well, when you're the head of a crime family, it's all based on like mutual like threat, and so
but
like you could be
in jail. They threw her in Arkham, and they don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah, but then the people who did that are all dead now, and like when you're a low level thug in an organization like that, you're probably not going to like
at the family dinner when she comes to. Yeah, when she's coming in, she's going, "Oh, if I was Luca, I'd grab by her hair and throw her out the house."
Well, so they don't want to kill her. They want her to leave. They believe that this is her last.
But they threaten to kill her. They go to Italy, or we'll tell people you did, which implies they're going to kill her, which shows they don't really give a fuck. And they put him in Arkham, so she's not really close to the family.
They don't want to kill her, but they will if they have to.
Why would they? Why would you tolerate it? But she's clearly defiant. She's not going away. Well, and her plan requires. Sorry.
Well, like with any character like this, especially a high-ranking member of the family, if you were to just kill her, people will ask questions about what happened.
You can throw her back in Arkham.
Well,
she's already convicted. Every person believes her. You could easily put her back in Arkham, no problem.
But then you're just kind of delaying the problem, and you've always got the persistent, like, worry that she might escape or that she might get like the word out to someone.
You don't even necessarily have the full family signing off on that decision as well.
It was everyone, wasn't it? She looked back and went, none of you came to my defense.
Yeah, but the current boss was actually relatively sympathetic to her. He didn't want her dead.
Yeah, but you can clearly see she's a problem. She's warned multiple times. And that's the thing as well. Luca is said to be passive. He's weak. Yeah, he murders her guard straight away, which shows he's quite impulsive.
Wait, which
he won't act with a threat like Sophia coming into his family.
Yeah, but isn't the whole point of that scene she's agreed? They think she's agreeing to leave. She's not, though. She's lying to him.
Yeah, but we all know she's lying. But that was another thing. VT. I wish they said this. They didn't. They have the photos on VT blackmailing them.
Yeah.
And I said, if it'd be good if they at least said, if you do something to us, these photos get released. But he didn't say that. I went, well, VT's going to kill you.
You talking about in episode 5 now?
Or sorry, no, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Sorry. You know when they jump in to VT and he's fucking Luca's wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't mention they have photos.
Well, they've got him on that alone, right, already.
Well, no, that's just them. But that's the thing. I've got eyewitnesses, so I just need to kill them. If they just had a throwaway line saying, oh, yeah, if something happens to us, these photos will drop in the mail, such and such. But they didn't. So VT goes, these two people are eyewitnesses. I should just kill them.
I mean, I took it from that scene that was the obvious leverage that he was fucked because they got him, especially with the girl as well because she worked for them.
I just murdered him instantly. Well, she's in danger. She's going to his wife.
Just kill everybody.
Well, no, you clearly
You gotta
tell
stop murdering
something.
people, Reaper.
But also, another thing, sorry, I keep delaying the thing, but I don't
That's
get
right.
what the Maronis get out of the deal with Penguin. Because he says to him, if you can take credit for killing Alberto, but you get a war. But he says this in front of all of his capos. So what credit does he get?
Oh, you're saying in the prison?
Yeah, in the prison, yeah.
Enough people
Beginning
sort of
episode 1, 2.
I get that, but obviously the assumption would be that he has full control over that room. They're all Maroni.
Yeah, but you get a war, which is bad for business.
No, well, that was part of the deal, right? Is that he gives them the inside scoop. In exchange, they'll take the heat off him for because they don't mind.
He says you get credit. You get the credit for killing Alberto, but the credit's useless. All his men.
But remember, they use that against him later. They're willing to reveal the truth to fuck him over because it is essentially a deal. Like you provide us information or any leverage over the Falcones. In exchange, we'll submit to this deal.
And that's the thing. The capo, he goes, well, we got the drugs. We've got a war, which means we can't really sell the drugs because, dealers get shot on the street. But then also they lose a capo, which the Penguin ends up stabbing to death. So instantly they go, right, deal's off. Tell him he's a snitch. But they don't.
I'm trying to remember. Which episode was that again?
Sorry, I keep jumping over.
We're 5 in, so.
Maroni makes a deal for the drugs.
Yeah.
Penguin's going to give over his drug shipment.
Yeah, for the mushrooms.
Yeah. And no, it's the mushrooms. No, Penguin's convoy gets attacked and he betrays the people inside.
Yeah.
Right.
So the deal is, I give you the drugs.
Rabbit hole down.
I mean, we could wrap up if you want. Yeah, I got it mind.
No, it's fine. Like, keep going.
I was saying, so the thing is, he betrays the Falcones, giving the drugs to Maronis. Yeah. But his capo gets injured and he gets captured and put into the basement of the Falcone house. So, how does she says, if we don't get the capo, you die. He doesn't give her the capo and he's still having phone calls with Maroni afterwards. Why don't they tell the Falcones he's the snitch and just have them kill him?
So, when you say why don't they tell the Falcones
the Maronis?
Sorry. So, tell them the captured guy is the snitch.
No, tell
them the Penguin is.
The Iranian woman says, "Give us the capo back, or we kill you."
Yeah.
Deal's off. He can't give the capo back. He kills him. He stabs him in the chest.
Also,
deal's off.
I thought this was all building up why they outright go to execute him in episode 3, right? Like these.
Well, he has to get the capo back, but he fails.
Yeah, like the Penguin does not he does not uphold his end with the Maronis, so they do.
So Maroni should tell the Falcones he's a snitch.
Well, they were going to kill him.
Yeah, but you can do that. Go, White, we could kill him, or the Falcones can do it easier.
Well, I mean, sure, but like they want to kill. They fucking hate him, right? Like she wants to execute him personally. That's what the scene in the.
He has a phone call with the Maronis afterwards.
Well,
may go to the vault.
Remember, this is over the course of the episode. As they gradually, like, she's like furious with him after he's failed them a couple of times because he's out for himself, obviously.
Yeah, but you just phone the Falcones. Go, listen, the war. Big deal about that. You had a ratty organization. Here's the Penguin.
I mean, that's an alternative idea. The thing is, though, that doesn't satisfy necessarily. If she wants to execute him herself, that doesn't really.
But does she though? Right? Is she that? If she killed her son, that would make sense. But it's just a capo.
Like, on the point of, does she want to do it? We see her orchestrate that, so I would assume she does want to do that.
Well, she wants him dead, yeah, but how does she care about how it's done?
I mean, the mob people, I think they do like the mob execution style shit. She sets it up to be that way. Like, I don't know what to tell you in terms of, like, why does she want to do it personally? Is like, we see that she wants to, so that's what we see.
No, she just wants him dead. If she had a personal reason, like he killed her son, that would make more sense. I can understand that, but it's just she lost the capo.
Well, remember,
just go, right, tell Falcone he's dead, done. He fucked us over, kill him. and they'll torture him.
This all is super personal to him, and she does lay it all out with him, right? Like they have a back and forth before they get to execute the penguin. As in, like
he was
this
supposed
stuff she
you
wants to
fucked us
talk him through, which is precisely how Sophia finds out that he did kill her brother.
Yeah, but you could just told the Falcones, and the Falcones will torture him to death.
I mean, I feel like she wants to kill him.
Why?
That's why she does that. Why does anybody want to execute someone who betrayed them, man? I don't know.
You can have him die in the most painful way possible and quicker if you tell the Falcones.
She wants to do it personally, and she wants to.
Why?
Because she hates him, and she wants to make sure what he did.
Yeah, but
was
she wants him
betray her,
dead. She doesn't want it. She wasn't. I need with my own hands. It has to be me. She has to peel his face off. No, it's just she wants him dead.
She does seem like that kind of character. Same for the Maronis in general. They're crime boss families. Like
she's hands off. She gets other people to kill him as well. If she was doing it with her own hands,
absolutely,
but she gets her son to stab him.
She's the one who personally is in the exchange for her son as well. She doesn't say like, I'm not going to that. You must send someone else. And she's there to execute Penguin personally. Like I think she's more hands on than you'd say.
Not really.
Okay.
I don't see it. I think she wants him dead. She can get everything she wants simply by telling him.
All right.
Well.
Because the thing, if she killed his son, that would make more sense. This is just a business deal gone wrong.
Wait, hey Drake, how about them super chats?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry for delaying the show.
Yeah.
More.
Well, I'll do a couple more and then finish up for the night anyway. So Deval says, Drinker. Disney have $42 billion in debt with only $13 billion worth of assets right now. Warner have $40 billion also with only $3.5 billion in assets. How is it possible for them to still have such a monopoly? Well, I mean, I guess this is the economy of debt that they exist in. Like, we will take on debt on the proviso that we're probably going to pay it off with our future revenue that we generate from the next big blockbuster movie that we produce that turns out to not actually be a blockbuster. And, like these companies trade, I suppose, on the potential for earning rather than what they actually have right now. So I think this is how a lot of movies are financed. They take on debt that they will pay off later. It's worked for decades. It just doesn't work now because the movies are so fucking expensive to make. They never make back their initial investment. So bit of a problem.
Yeah, because like Netflix, hasn't Netflix been in the red for like a decade or something? And Netflix just keeps spending like hundreds of billions.
No, I think Netflix is all right comparatively, and they've got such a huge market share now of the streaming service that they're probably going to be okay. But there is a part 2 to this. Says, are the chips about to fall with all their debt lined up, or are they likely to sell some assets to clear this debt since the movies keep flopping? Disney's a special case because they have their theme parks and everything, which is like whole different revenue streams. They have merchandise and stuff. I think Warner Brothers is in deep trouble. Like they are way off base in terms of like where they should be financially. So they might end up getting bought over or absorbed by someone else. Not sure where it's going to go, but yeah, they're kind of fucked financially. LC Le Pen says, can't believe that Shad got Blade cancelled for Edward. Okay. The Big Dog says, always a pleasure seeing Baggage Claim on Open Bar. Thank you. Jordan Pendragon says, Alien Romulus will supposedly get a VHS release. I hope so.
Yeah, well,
why not?
It'd be a collector's item, I'm sure. I don't think that many people have VHS players anymore.
We'll all go to the drive-in and watch it together.
He says, I'm curious to see how well it sells. I mean, it fits with the aesthetic, I suppose, of going for that retro futuristic stuff. So, yeah, I'd buy it. And Aaron says, MauLer, sorry, what's this? Well, his actual super chat is tough to read, but I think what he's saying here is, MauLer, I don't really like Powerwolf. It's just noise. You need to add to your music literary school. There you go. That's his opinion.
You know what? In a way, all music is just noise. So you know what? I agree.
That's true. Yeah.
Very deep. That's true.
What else has come here? This is
Damn.
Publius says, regarding J.K. Rowling, Yoram Hazoni argues that a fatal flaw of liberal democracy is that because it's divorced from tradition, it is unmoored from any foundation upon which it can push back on never-ending progressive demands.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose, yeah, if you tolerate everything, then eventually you're going to accept everything, in which case you might end up in a place you don't want to be.
And that's exactly what's happening in America right now, is that the left keeps pushing. The whole like ideological understanding of the left is like, keep pushing. We got these rights. Okay, now next set of rights. Okay, now we got those, next set of rights. And you keep pushing. And at some point, you push the people too far. And I think that's why then you get the pendulum swing in the other direction. And hopefully we can land somewhere in a more centrist place. Would be good.
It does always make me wonder, like, if you're all about progressivism and progressing into like something new, like at what point do you say you've reached your utopia? It's like, okay, we got everything that we ever wanted. Like we got every right, every like thing that we asked for. We're happy now.
Well, if
Is
we
it
go
even
by a
possible?
movie, Bob, we're supposed to have robot bodies on Mars by now. So until then,
Yeah. I mean, that's technological progress. I guess I'm thinking more about like
no,
rights
that
and
he
freedoms
said
and stuff.
that would have been done if we had had the right people in power. So policy.
There you go.
Culturally, this is the problem, is that we'd reached actually a really great level on, I'm talking just from an American perspective, when it came to race relations and with gender relations, is that we had reached like a great understanding of equality, and we were not in all aspects. And then it just wasn't enough. And now we see a lot more race and gender, everything sort of people open their sentences by saying, as a woman, or as a woman of color, or as a woman who's trans, and this and this. And like, it's like a litany of reasons to qualify your statements, whereas that was not the case in the 90s. And I think, the perspective is that like humans can't really be happy in comfort. We find new ways to create strife. So the more comfort we have, it actually starts to make us really, really unhappy. And so we're looking for strife. And I think that's what happens, coming back to that actress from Wicked, is that she actually is living a great life. One could ostensibly say, I mean, everybody has their troubles, but she's living a privileged life. But she has to look for a victim narrative to cling to find some sort of meaning. So that's the problem.
She also looks like a testicle. Have you seen her head?
I can't fucking believe that kind of comment after everything she just said, and that's what
Fucking hell, man.
Well, I couldn't match it on the intellectual thing, but she's clearly been too smart for me. Where do I go? How do I add my flavor to it?
They made it for your terrible takes on Penguin.
Oh!
Unfortunately, I'm showing my face, and then you can just see how embarrassed I look after a comment like that. But yes, she does.
No, you're right. Like Reaper, you're correct as well. But yeah, Baggage Claim as well. The point you make is actually very correct, and I think Little Platoon said something similar a couple of weeks back when we were talking about this constant need to feel oppressed or like slighted against by someone. It all ties into this weird mentality that we have now in the Western world, that we've succeeded in meeting all of our needs in the sense that we have plenty for the most part. Like we've got access to like like crazy levels of technology, food supplies, like all the luxuries
hot
you can
water.
ask for, really.
Even the luxury of hot water.
But we've become as a result, when it comes to like telling stories about ourselves, we've become kind of bored of storytelling, and we've become kind of bored of ourselves as a culture. I think that was the way he phrased it, and it kind of like stuck with me. Of, oh my god, there is this kind of weird sense of boredom with the lives that we lead now, in that we're not inspired by things anymore. It seems we're not telling inspirational stories. We're not creating inspirational characters anymore. It's always this weird, pervasive kind of weariness, this kind of malaise that's settled over everything. And I think that's why you get this, people turn into this like shitty postmodernist view of like storytelling, where everything that used to be like a staple of genres, of the hero's journey has to be deconstructed and turned inside out and recontextualized into something else, because it's the idea, it's the veneer of newness, of novelty, of like, hey, what if we just invert everything or whatever, and it ultimately becomes such a shitty way of producing stories, because it doesn't appeal to people deep down. It doesn't get them, it doesn't inspire them, it just makes them feel even more depressed with their lives. And I think people feel it on that instinctive level.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I went off on a bit of a random tangent there, but
you're
like,
so
it's just
right, though. You're absolutely right, because even Joker is a story about that, about this, like, just feeling lost in the world, essentially. The Whale is another story like that. Is that The Whale is a great story to reflect the times that we're in, is that he's actually poisoning himself actively with food, which was used to be this, hard to get resource. And we're so inundated with things. We're inundated with all sorts of distractions, any kind of, like, the fact that with a click, we could watch any movie, listen to any song. Kings 100 years ago couldn't do that, and we can do that today. I mean, we are so spoiled in that way, that, but the problem is we're not able to find gratitude for that, because it is so commonplace now for us to have that. So when you have something for long enough, it's hard to feel grateful for it. You just feel like this is life now. This is your new sort of base scale. So you start to lose gratitude, and you're looking for something to strive towards, but we don't have enough strife. We just don't.
Yeah.
And Drinker, you said how many streamers guys like Tolkien, he never would have made Lord of the Rings had he not had the life he had. That's why these stories were made for.
You see what happens when writers today who didn't live through the kind of experiences that Tolkien had try to write Tolkien. You end up with Rings of Power. Compare the two in terms of like what feels more authentic.
No, he said, how many times we covered Band of Brothers with Lance, and you look at our veterans in World War II versus now, what was the biggest hardship you had this week? Well, somebody went to Starbucks, they misgendered me. Oh, that's the bane of your hardships in 2024, because someone said your gender wrong on your cup of coffee. Wow, life is hard, huh?
Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway, on that bombshell, I think I'm going to finish open bar this evening. It's been an experience.
Considering we had nothing to talk about, we've got a lot out of it.
We managed to get 3 hours of talking about nothing. Yeah, so I think we did all right. No, well, I'd rather have like an open bar where like we disagree about things and there's some interesting discussions rather than just all bunch of like nodding heads. But yeah,
right.
Thank you, guys.
A little bit of strife.
You coming. You need it, yeah. And for everyone in chat that's joined us, thank you as well. I just wanted to say as well, as some of my mods have mentioned, the Critical Drinker and the Critical Doggo plushies there's a huge new batch of them that are now available to pre-order. So the link for them is in the description. If you wanted to get them last time and you missed out on it, then now is your opportunity. So give that a little look, and if you're interested, you can get them as a set, and you get a 10% discount if you get both of them together.
Yeah,
and you can also get MauLer plushies that are Halloween based, and they look suitably spooky for this time of year.
I convinced the people at Makeshift to extend it past Halloween. I told them they should do that. They were like, okay, fine. I think that's done for like the entire set of Halloween related plushies now, because that means it'll literally end right after open bar next week. So grab them while you can.
Yeah. So if you're looking for new plushies in your lives, then you got plenty of opportunities. But for tonight, that is all we've got for today. So go away now.
Bye.